Yo! Yo! What's up, BJ Sam? What's up, Stillwater? What's up, Lonely Loaf? What's up, Electrics? Him Bid? Linkus! Daniel, something cool? You mind paying your editors? Yeah, I'll do it right now. Hey. Shout outs to the editors. Shout outs. Keep it up. Keep it up. Woo! All right, that's the exposure payment locked in. Probably more than probably extra. That was a bit of a tip, to be honest. I feel like I splurged on them this month, but this song rules. This is rules. What fires of knowledge do you bring to us today, Prometheus? Didn't Prometheus, like, get his liver eaten out by an eagle every day? Wasn't that his punishment? And yet he still didn't have it as hard as an average Twitch streamer who has to have far worse psychologically happen to them when they go live. Hey, what's good, Ryan's official? More Quincy W today? No, I'm not playing any balloons, but I will say that I ordered my Quincy plushie. Fingers crossed should arrive soon. Hello, Twitch King of Angmar 97. Your name is as easy to flow off the tongue as it was before. Just watch the new vid, Bud. I didn't see the rest, but thanks for calling me Bud. It makes me feel good. I have this thing where I'm really parasocially attached to all my chatters. And so when they call me Bud, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel like we got a real friendship going on. I know you're just humoring me, but it feels great. Hey there, pal. I'm trying to debunk your title, and I have gotten Atrioc shares knowledge and pretend to understand, fueling balloon addiction. You mean decipher my title, or what are you trying to say? Debunk means disprove. What I said in my title was Get Smarter Saturdays. Your cranium, holds your brain, will expand. Your IQ, intelligence quotient, will balloon. And the entirety of YouTube's knowledge will be distilled into your brain. It's like I'm sort of the conduit for the sum total of all of humanity's knowledge on YouTube. And I'm channeling it through me into your brain. Day 2 of saying Atrioc to see if Atrioc notices my clever wordplay. I have yet to notice any clever wordplay, but I did notice Atrioc. Play Hitman and I'll give your new video a like and turn on the notification bell. What if I like your offer. What if I give you a counter offer? I don't play Hitman. I do exactly what I plan to do, which is watch YouTube videos. You still give me those things, and I give you a thumbs up. Last chance, final offer. We'll take it. You got yourself a deal. Holy shit, deal. How's everybody's Saturday going? Good, bad, happy, sad? Good, got a haircut? I've been needing one. Dude, I need a haircut bad. I've been fiending for a haircut. Haircut and a nail removal. I need to get the fucking GameCube nail off. I'm done joking. I'm done fucking around. I need the nail removal. I need it fucking ASAP. I gotta get this off. People, it's not presenting the right look. I'm getting too many questions. Pliers remove nails? Oh, that's disgusting. Don't even say that. Just thinking about that is horrendous. I might ban you for that. Hopefully you take it back. Yakuza vibes? Don't use vibes for everything. Vibes is for like when you get like a good attitude or kind of a bad vibe. Don't put Yakuza vibes. It's not... Seeing someone, if you saw someone get their nails ripped off with pliers, you wouldn't be like, whoa, Yakuza vibes. It's not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Language, you should find the right word. Hella torture vibes, TBH. I don't think people say hella anymore outside of the Bay. You just eat a fat edible or something? No, I didn't. I don't know why people think that. Specifically you, actually. Just you. You're the only one that said it so far. Speak for yourself. Nail polish remover doesn't work for gel nails. I tried. Well, I didn't try, but I wanted to. I thought in my mind, oh, there's an object called nail polish remover. Just dump that on my hand and we're good. Apparently, it'll just like, I don't know, burn. It won't do anything if it's gel. It won't like, it'll just damage my nails, but without. Trade fingers with stands. The problem is his fingers are too big. They want my nimble and dexterous palms will not be able to support his extra large fingers. Also feels like a bit of a waste. Feels like a... Do you guys ever see the movie Face Off? It was actually a really fun movie, but the plot is so ridiculous. It's set in like 1998, and it's like John Travolta is an undercover cop who wants to like infiltrate a gang. So they arrest the leader of the gang and then surgically cut his face off and put it on John Travolta's face so that he can like so he can go infiltrate the gang. And that would be stupid enough. That would be stupid enough because, like, there's no shot that's going to be, the technology isn't there today. It certainly wasn't there in 98. Anyway, that would be stupid enough. But then, while John Travolta is wearing Nicolas Cage's face and in the gang, Nicolas Cage, with no face, wakes up in the hospital, murders all of his guards, finds John Travolta's face in a freezer, takes it out, has it put onto his face, and then infiltrates the FBI. That is how the movie goes, dude. It's fucking insane. And then so it's Nicolas Cage acting as if he's John Travolta in Nicolas Cage's body. And it's John Travolta acting like he's himself. No, wait, what the fuck? He's acting like it's Nicolas Cage in his body. And neither of them are like that great of act. The whole thing is, it's fun. I'll tell you that. Definitely gonna watch now. Don't fucking spoil. There's no thing to spoil. After you've heard what I said, that's what happens. They do that the rest of the movie. There's explosions and chases and gunshots. When I was a kid, I saw it. I rented it from a Blockbuster, and then I rode my fucking Flintstones vehicle up with my feet. But I did. I liked it. It's not basically just The Parent Trap. In no way is what I described similar to the plot of the Lindsay Lohan vehicle, The Parent Trap. At no point does she remove her face surgically. Right? You guys get that though, right? We're on the same page with that part. Well, she kind of does in a way. In what way? In like a way where she doesn't do it at all? Anyway, today we're going to be watching interesting and insightful Get Smarter Saturday videos here on the channel. It's going to be a fun, rip-roaring good time, but it's not about fun. So if you have too much fun, you'll be banned, okay? It's about learning. Today's about expanding our craniums. But we can chill for a bit. I mean, you can jump into it in like 30 minutes. What's going on? What's the haps? Anything in the news? What's the vibe? What's the Yakuza vibes today? What did I see? Oh, I saw some What's Up Beijing stuff. I'm gonna cover it on Monday though. China's got a whole lot happening. It's crazy time. It's crazy time all over the world. We are in a really, really, really crazy time. And I think the next couple of years are going to be in the history books. Living in Germany, expecting... Oh, dude. The shit going on in Germany is wild. Germany is like... Exports are collapsing. They're now importing more than they're exporting for the first time in since the end of World War II. They're fucking expecting to. They have to hard cap temperatures in households, so you can't have a temperature over 17 degrees Celsius or something at night. It's gonna be not frigid cold, but cold. They're doing a lot of stuff. Inflation's up. High, same as everywhere, but pretty damn high. The currency's collapsing. But Germany being in bad economic times has never led to anything bad. So I'm not worried. Atrioc, that's 62 degrees. Yeah, let me check. Is that what 17 Celsius? I'm gonna find the actual data. The only problem is that oh, here it is. Okay. So, all gas heated buildings are being dropped to 17 degrees Celsius at night. From the largest real estate companies are doing that, but not some don't have to do it. There are some housing cooperatives are giving quotas on when residents can use hot water. This is all because of the sanctions on Russia, so they can't get natural gas from Russia, which is a good thing. I mean, it's good that they're having some economic sanction to put onto Russia for invading Ukraine, a sovereign nation. But the problem is, the damage is just as bad to Europe as it is to Russia, really, because Russia's just selling the gas to China. 17 degrees Celsius is fucking hot. Is it? What is it in Fahrenheit? 17 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit is 62 degrees. That's not fucking hot. It's not bad. I sleep at like 69. Nice. And I ain't doing any sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Sheesh. But I idiot. You just said. But in the, I think that's pretty cold. 62. That's pretty cold to be capped at, and you can't turn it up. What else is going on? The leader of the German opposition party, the CDU, says that our country may be headed for the worst economic crisis since the founding of the Federal Republic of Germany. Friedrich Merz, I don't know if he's trustworthy or not, but he's saying it. Germany is importing more goods than it's exporting. And industrial production of steel, chemicals, and glass in Germany could fall by as much as 50%. So definitely an interesting time. Worse than the crash of the Deutschmark? Absolutely not. No, that was like, wasn't that like wheelbarrows of money for bread? No. They're not experiencing that. And euro inflation is about equivalent to dollar inflation. Just America has better access to energy. It's not so interesting when you live in the country. Well, look, everyone's going through it, okay? I can't find a region in the world that's not going through very interesting, and I'm saying interesting to be nice, economic times right now. Certainly America's not immune, and China's got their own entirely different problems, but they're also bad. It's crazy. It's really very weird. I'm sure that it will all work out fine. Dude, I'm living in Norway and vibing. Yeah, I'm not saying every single person is affected. Though I'm sure Norway has its own issues. What did Linkus say? I must know. User Linkus7. What did he say? He said, on good news, he said, the worst part is they announced like months ago they were shutting down and stopping nuclear. So it's going to be harder to switch to electric heating instead of gas. On good news, American car sales hit 5% electric. Yeah, electric sales are picking up dramatically here in the good old US of A. Finally. Europe's way ahead of us on buying electric cars. But we are finally picking up on it, which is good. 5% is not, I mean, it's a positive trend. We want to get more because right now, if you look at the top car sales in America, the top 6 are like gigantic trucks. And it's like not close. It's like 6 massive fucking trucks that sell bazillions. And then number 7 is like a Toyota sedan. And then if you get down to like fucking number 14, I think it's a Tesla. It's the first electric car. But yeah, maybe it's gas prices. Yeah. Our gas prices caught up to Europe, so we're finally getting electrics. Yeah. I need a huge truck to drive my kids to school, K-Kona. All I know is that it's wild that Ford stock is as low as it is when the Ford F-150 has been the best-selling car in America for like 14 years, and it has not been close. Every single year, the Ford F-150 outsells every other car or truck by a fucking mile. And they're still not, they're not doing that well. The Ford F-150 Lightning is sick, though. You and my dad would get along. My dad loves a Ford F-150. My dad's a fiend for the Ford F-150. All I'm saying is that we need to start living in cities where cars are not required. You ever been to an American city? Outside of maybe New York, what fucking city are you talking about, dude? What fucking city in this whole country do you think is a car's not required? It's only in Europe where that's even feasible. I'll tell you what the best city I've ever seen for it was Seoul. Living in Seoul, you did not need a car one bit. And it was not inconvenient at all. Legitimately, a car would be more inconvenient. Getting around Seoul was fucking awesome. Chicago. I've never been to Chicago, to be honest. As much as I've been around because of the military family thing, I've never been to Chicago. Which is odd, given how much me and Kanye West have collaborated on music. You'd think I'd go at least one time, but nope. The soccer stadiums in Europe that hold way more people than have fewer. Yeah, the thing about it's so funny because like every building has parking requirements in America, so you can't even build something like an apartment complex or a stadium or a school or anything without having like an equivalent number of parking spots to like the average amount of people that will be there, something like that. And so you see like when they build a stadium, they have to buy like 10x the size of the stadium in terms of land and build gigantic sprawling parking lots in every direction. Just to, it's shocking. And it's like, if they could just not have that problem, we could have incredibly denser building and it'd be, just better. Yeah, colleges are like that. I mean, college towns are often like that because people don't have cars. I saw a tweet that was like, I mean, it's probably not true, but it was like, one of the reasons Americans romanticize college so much, it was because it's the only time in their lives they get to live like near friends in a nice walkable neighborhood, or something like that. It's where like, it's like you get to enjoy just being able to like walk to things and there's like some partial truth to that for sure. I think I have a unique experience on it because I lived in Europe. I lived in Europe for quite a few years, and I got to see the pros and cons and the differences. And it's pretty great. I think having good public transport and dense building in cities is really cool. It's nice. Europe is not walkable. I disagree. The cities for sure. You still need a car though, but to get between places. It's also like the entire continent is like as big as Texas, dude. That's not true, but it's like you can get around all of Europe like quickly. Like I could jump on a Ryanair flight and it's like a fucking bus with wings, and it could get me from fucking Germany to Paris in no time. Like it's not. It wasn't tough, but like getting to fucking just getting around America is much harder. I could get from like London to, I don't know, the south of France. Easier, quicker, cheaper, faster than I can get from like NorCal to SoCal. So, which is crazy. It's the same state. Bikes in Amsterdam go crazy. Never did that, but I assume so. I'm trying to move to Europe, but it's a long process. Well, I mean, right now it's probably, I guess if your income's still denominated in dollars, it's a great time to move to Europe because the euro dollar exchange rate has never been better for dollars. Dollars go way farther in Europe than they ever have. So right now, but moving to Europe to like get paid in euros is like, right now they're having just as bad problems as everyone else. And you're a foreigner and L ratio. Thoughts on New Zealand? All I know about New Zealand is that apparently it's like the perfect place if the world collapses. Like if everything truly collapses, New Zealand is like the most insulated from like violence. It's got like sustainable agriculture. It's like least likely to be destroyed by climate change. And so, but what that means is billionaires already knew this well before the rest of us. And billionaires have been surreptitiously buying up tons of bunkers and land and property in New Zealand over the past 10 years. Like it's been it's been very, very popular for billionaires to have like just like a 1% chance, they have a fucking compound in New Zealand. Yeah, what was that, by the way, when I started talking about exposing the secrets of billionaires? I got like a weird sound, a weird alert. New Zealand is real copium. No, it is real, guys. Come on. If we all believe. Once a guy from New Zealand told me that people say New Zealanders and Canadians are similar. And I responded, must be the accent. And he didn't realize it was a joke and was like, no, I don't think so. Fun little story. A little slice of life story, really. Fuck NIMBYs. That's why cities aren't walkable. There's a lot. That's a multifaceted bit of reasons. It's wild because you're right. The NIMBYs are a huge problem, but it's also like I don't trust that if I gave you a house, you wouldn't become a NIMBY. You know what I'm saying? If I gave you a house and then told you all you have to do is go complain at this city council meeting and your property value won't go down, you probably would go complain. People are just like that, dude. I think you have to zoom out even farther, and there's got to be laws that don't rely on people being good. Whenever you rely on better angels, if like your country's survival depends on somebody looking at the angel on their shoulder and going, "Fine, let's go. I'll turn down the money," then you're already fucked because people won't do that in aggregate. It's like expecting a corporate CEO to be like, I don't know, generous and kind. It's like if that's our hope, if we're pinning everything on getting all the CEOs to be kind, then that's the wrong problem. We need to restrain them. We need to have like actual legal power or a strong union that can sort of just negotiate in good faith, have an actual power struggle, so it's like they have to really understand. You can't just be like, please, mister. Restrain them, blushing face. Yeah, I'm talking about whips and chains, baby. Jeff Bezos, leather. You know what I'm saying? Let's get kinky with it. Bro, the other day, didn't you just say that you hated unions? Have you ever watched my fucking stream? Is there people in here that fucking... I swear to God, dude. I feel like I'm so fucking blatant. Week after week after week. Did a union fundraiser. And now I'm fucking Union Buster A. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? God damn, dude. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. It's like one thing that I'm very consistent on. I hammer it home week after week. I almost feel like I'm talking about it too much sometimes. Save that for YouTube comments. I expect that out of YouTube comments, not out of fucking chatters. What about the union of marriage? I'm getting married, so I support that. Oh, it's the joke about the balloons farm where I said actually unions suck as a joke. Okay, but fucking read between the lines, dude. Read between the lines. Come on. Is Hudak going to the wedding? You guys have asked me that every time I brought the wedding, and the answer is yes. He's officiating the wedding. He's also co-best man with Stans. He's going to give an elaborate 1-hour speech that will all be live streamed to the chat, though it won't matter because you'll all be there. Atrioc, this is serious. There are people defending Jake Novak in your comment section. You need to. I saw some of that. I saw some people being like, it wasn't that bad. This is bullying. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, okay, it is that bad, but it is a little bit of bullying. Like it is worthy of laughing at because it is cringe. And when you make something public like that, you're kind of saying it's open for people to laugh at it. I also think that the internet bullying it is actually going to be good for it. I know it sounds crazy. People don't think the long game. There's plenty of people that have, it's like the fucking, I don't know, the Jake Logan Paul effect, dude. Everyone bullied them. Everyone said they were fucking stupid. And then, now they're bigger than ever before. Like, it doesn't stop you on the internet. This guy's going to get fucking roasted. And then if all he has to do is be slightly self-aware. And he's probably going to be big on TikTok. I swear to God. The conclusion is we need more bullies. You guys don't like nuance, do you? Is that, am I reading that correctly? That Twitch chat does not like nuance. There's no chance that there could be some sort of middle ground that we can sort of discuss the pros and cons of things. It's either I'm saying all bullies are good and bully more. Okay, it's black or white. Yeah, I get it. No, I understand. What the fuck is nuance? Can I eat it? Mazoko, 80, thank you for the 7 months. Sora the Explorer, thank you for the 6 months. Alberto, 696969696, thank you for the 20 months. Never read your name before. Thank you for that 20 though. Will you pay somebody to object at your wedding? Why? Why would I do that? I want the wedding to go well. I don't want someone to object at it. I certainly wouldn't pay someone for it. For content. Oh, for content. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. For content. Yeah. What if I pay like Tommy Innit to like object at my wedding and then I sword fight him? You'll never guess which YouTuber sword fought at my wedding. That's a video. That's a 1 out of 10. I mean, yeah, my fiance's family will be disappointed, but who cares? I'll have content. Content trumps all. You should sword fight Jake Novak. I don't have a vendetta against Jake Novak, to be clear. I just thought it was funny. If anything, I was late to the party because like that whole roast that happened like 10 days earlier. Jake Novak should filibuster the courts. Maybe that would work. If they get Jake Novak in there doing fucking musical theater until Mitch McConnell finally relents, they might actually make some progress. He might break down. He might do anything to shut him up. He's talented. TBH just made a cringe video. I'm not sure. I got a different definition of talented, but I do think he's self-confident, which is important. And he can sing. He does have moxie. Play it. We're gonna start. It's gonna turn into the fucking mana. I'm gonna start playing Jake Novak ironically and end up fucking putting it in my playlist unironically. I'm gonna start fucking jamming to it. I'm gonna start rocking some Jake Novak on the reg.
I want to be the next SNL cast member, and here's why I should be a contender. Hi, Lorne Michaels, I'm Jake Novak, and I know that you're feeling the heat because your roster lost Cade, Kyle, 80, and Pete. That means you got an open seat, and I feel I ought to be feeling it, because when it comes to comedy songs, I kind of been killing it. See, weekly music videos are my jam, bruh. I'm a rapid rhyming hammy nerd like Lin-Manuel Miranda mixed with Sammy Berg, but haven't you heard, I'm more than a rapper, I'm an actor too, so here's a couple of nice guys getting their jackets. After you, after you, after you, after you, after you. After you've seen that scene, I'm in, right? But I'm in.
Dude, it's like layers of an onion. I've discovered something new I love every time. He literally thinks that this scene, after this scene, he's in, right? This is the sketch that gets him onto SNL? Two nice guys getting their jackets?
After you. After you've seen that scene, I mean, I'm in, right? But I'm in.
Wait, what the fuck are you talking about? That was your big joke? Mike Myers made fucking Wayne's World and yours is the after you two guys jacket scene? What are you talking about?
Been sitting on the ringer. In addition to the spitting, I'm a hell of a singer. I could be
Belting out on Broadway, but I'm running for 30 Rock.
So I can hand deliver you the next dick in a box.
Woo!
Not literally. Obviously, I really want to give you the next big thing. Oh, God. Dear Mr. Michaels, won't you give me a chance? My melodies will make the people laugh while they dance. I'll write, I'll perform, man, I'll sweep the stage. But whenever it is, I'm ready to do it in Studio 8H. What do you say? Did I dive or get you to bite? Maybe we could try it live on a Saturday night. So check my feed. You'll agree where I should be in September. Right with Colin, Keenan, Chloe, and Bowen as an SNL cast member.
Hell yeah. You know what? Team Novak, baby. Team Novak. Let's get it trending. Let's turn this around. We're no longer bullies here. We're allies. Stan snapped on that one. Stans could never. Do you think Stans? No. One thing I'll say about Jake Novak is it takes balls. It takes delusion or self-confidence. And Stans is very self-aware. Stans would cringe at the thought of himself doing it, let alone doing it. Watch this one. What am I watching? Will you put a tiny Jake Novak flag in your corner of your stream for a month? Okay, we already did Pride Month. Now we have to do Jake Novak Month, dude. We need to fucking be real allies here. The rest of the internet is bullying him, and we're going to turn the corner. I don't want to be a bully. I want this guy to get on goddamn SNL. I want to be the only one who believed. What was the link? Banger Novak related tweet. That's such a funny. Are you guys ready for your music lessons? Drake gulps. Beethoven breathes heavily. Kanye West nods nervously. Playboy Cardi sighs. Yes, Jake Novak, they said in unison. It actually is a banger for only 10 likes. Holy shit. I'll like that. Holy shit, a rare hidden gem. Steal it? Oh, let me unlike and steal, dude. The problem is Jake Novak is completely he's a TikTok exclusive. He hasn't really crossed over into Twitter. I don't think Twitter even knows. Memes move very fast on TikTok. By the time it's already like dead on TikTok, it's just starting to get on Instagram, Twitter. So, who's better, Pay the Musician or Jake Novak? Listen, obviously Pay is better, but it is very funny. It's not funny, actually. It's bullying is what it is. My editor, who was it? Who edited that video? Was it Quack? It was Quack. Whenever he sends me the video, it already has a pre-written description. And it was like, this guy is literally Pay the Musician. When he sent me the fucking Jake Novak video to upload. And then obviously I switched it. But it was bullying. Okay? And I want that to be well understood. Pay's a mod now, so better watch out. Watch your steps. Have you seen his song about school shootings? It's in the video. It's in the very video we're talking about. Yes, I did. I saw it. I thought it was masturbatory. I thought it was completely ineffective. Please don't snipe me, Mr. Pay, for watch his TikTok. We've already seen it. We've seen it. I wouldn't call you a virgin Atrioc. I'm not. So, don't have to. You shouldn't be commenting on how many times I've had sex anyway, but there's literally an SNL sketch that makes fun of Jake Novak types. Do you have it? I'd like to see it. In about 4 minutes, we're going to start Get Smarter Saturdays. So get your videos ready. If you've got videos 1 out of 10, huzzah, hooray. Oh, the confetti is flowing. 1 out of 10 on my video. Wow, it's doing even better than tweets that saved Pride Month, which was an absolute banger. That's cool. Love to see that. Not streamer brain, YouTube brain. I'm not worried about streaming. The problem is that goddamn confetti on YouTube has got me hooked. I'm a dopamine addict. 1 out of 10, that's good. That's the best. 1 out of 10 means it's number 1 out of your last 10 videos. Who's he talking to? I'm talking to chat. You can say that at any time. That's such a weird thing to say. If I'm talking to the camera, I don't have one person in mind specifically. Who's he talking to? It's a funny bit. Who's he talking to? I don't know. That's actually really funny. Wait a minute. Like, who the fuck is he talking to? Like, it needs to be a fucking video with a fucking other character. I'm still going to ban you for your stupid fucking question, but that was funny. I'll give you that. I wish I hadn't laughed at it because, of course, every single unfunny person is going to repeat that for the next 6 months. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to hear someone say, who's he talking to? I'm hoping to get the same laugh again fucking the next 2,000 times I talk. Ah! I shouldn't have laughed at it. It was just funny once. This is the SNL clip. Let's see it.
Hey guys, it's me, Benji
Oh,
from the
yeah.
hit show The Buddies on Nintendo TV. I've also got a bunch of fun auditions and really cool stuff coming
Yeah,
up.
I've seen this. I don't need to watch it. It's actually kind of long, but I see it. I've seen it. It is funny. It's very Jake Novak type. I mean, you could see the beginning. We'll watch the beginning so you guys understand what I'm talking about.
But I'm here today because the state of the world is so awful. And I can't sit back and just be an actor anymore. Not with this incredible platform The Buddies has given me. So, Mr. President, hear me when I say, look out your window, there's kids in cages. Bet you can't see them from your golfing ranges. You've had 3 wives, you don't care about our lives. Well, enough is enough, Mr. Trump.
Yeah!
Puppet from Mr. Putin. You're the one who's doing all the looting. Not up to the task, you don't even wear a mask. So enough is enough, Mr. Trump. I won't sit back like everything is fine. I can't sit back with so much on the line. You may be president.
So brave. So fucking brave and powerful. And that's what Jake Novak brought to us with his musical talk on school shootings. Top 5 rappers Eminem was afraid to diss. So true. That literally, actually, speaking of that, what is that? What is the Eminem album with the flag on the front? That is literally Eminem's album with the flag on the front. I don't. What was it fucking called? It was Revival. This is literally Revival. I want you guys to know that. This is literally what Revival was. Was that not supposed to be satirical? Well, that was SNL, so it was satirical. That was satirical. Yes, that was satirical. But it was making fun of videos like that. Any hoot, it's 5 o'clock, which means it's time for Get Smarter Saturdays. I might even get an intro made for Get Smarter Saturdays because it's a fucking institution around here. If you guys don't know what Get Smarter Saturdays is, it's because on Saturday, We get smarter by watching YouTube videos, the only way that Zoomers are able to get smarter at all. Zoomers are unable to learn through any traditional method of learning, but through consuming YouTube content, they are able to get a little bit of a drip of new knowledge into their brain. And so we have developed Get Smarter Saturdays. The rules are simple and they are threefold. Number one, the video cannot be too long. Number two, the video cannot be too boring. But number three, and most importantly, at the end of the video, we have to have learned something. Can't just be pure entertainment. AFK 3AD, they were the 5 gifted. So we are going to launch in to Get Smarter Saturdays today. But before we do that, I want to thank today's sponsor of Get Smarter Saturdays, a returning sponsor. I am proud to bring back, drum roll please, Factor Meals. Thank you to Factor Meals for returning as a sponsor of Get Smarter Saturdays broadcast. Shout outs to Factor Meals. I have been using Factor Meals for like 6-7 months now. And when our contract had ended 2 months ago, I just kept buying it. I kept using it, but obviously I didn't talk about it on stream because I didn't want to give them free advertising after they. But they renewed, and so it's back. And I'm going to pick one of these 3 meals. Again, I really do recommend Factor. I think it's pretty great. People that have used it, actually Shake Drizzle, Little Big's editor, I think Radstead, a couple people in the world that I actually know have tried Factor from this, and they have enjoyed it. They've used it pretty well. They liked it. It's pretty sweet. The meals are delicious. They're pretty healthy, and they're very, very easy. I think if you're someone like me who's a bit of a degenerate or gamer and you don't like to cook and you like to clean up the mess after cooking, it's been awesome. It's been a real godsend for me. So we have either the cheesy bacon ranch shredded chicken, we have the shredded chicken taco bowl, or we have, I don't know what this is. Oh, wait, this one's missing a label. Roasted broccoli and cauliflower with something. Anyway, it's dope. I'm gonna try one of these, and I'm gonna try one mystery meal taco. Taco Bell sounds good. Cheesy bacon ranch. Ooh, people are choosing. I'm not gonna mix them all together. And most importantly, they also sent me these smoothies that can come with your box if you get Factor. They're fucking awesome. I literally have only this one saved from the box they sent me. They sent me like 8, and I chugged 7 of them quickly. And I saved this one because I needed it for the fucking show, but they're awesome. They're very, very delicious. I really, really enjoy them, and I always request them in the box. Yeah, they're just dope. So, I don't know. Check them out if you like them. They're not available in Canada. I think it might even be U.S. only, but worth checking. Go to exclamation point Factor to see the link. There's a panel, and below it, you get $120 off your first box if you use code POG120. And, yeah, they've been supporting the content. They're great to work with. They've been nice to me. I like the product, so it's easy recommendation for me. Check them out if you're interested in that kind of thing. And if not, no big deal. But now we're going to get into Get Smarter Saturdays. And let me just confirm that I'm good to go. If there's anything I need to put on screen or anything for that, I don't think so, but I'm just checking if I do. Oh, I need to put hashtag ad in the title. I do need to do that. Could be belting out on Broadway, but I'm running for 30 Rock. Oh, I need a, wait a minute. Wait. There's a video and a conspiracy on the Chow Kindergartens from Sonic Adventure 2. I'll watch that. That sounds interesting. I have some videos today of myself. So, let me drink this. I have a video on Napoleon's masterful greatest battle at Austerlitz. Basically the best battle of his whole career that I've always wanted to watch. So I'm going to watch that. I want to see how Napoleon sort of made his I also, you guys know how like baseball nerds will go fucking incredibly deep in the stats? Just like absolutely lost in the sauce with stats and like figure out who the absolute best pitchers and stuff of all time are by looking at every different fucking. Anyway, somebody did that for generals. Somebody looked at every single battle in recorded history, who was the general, how many troops they had, what their win above replacement would be. So basically, like if you replace Washington with Napoleon here, what would be the? And they found the actual top 10 generals. Let me see if I can find it. I thought it was so interesting. Yeah, here it is. Wait. Here it is. Okay. Wait, let me put this in. I could be bouncing out on Broadway, but I'm running for 30 Rock. Is this? Oh, it's not it. There we go. Factor! Pog Atrioc 120. Check it out. $120 across 5 boxes. And I'll get the alert on there as well. Okay. Cool. All right. So number one. Oh, let's see. They looked at all the stats. The generals that had few battles did not do that well. They had some kind of method to determine that, but basically the best generals in history were those that won with underdog forces. The stats kind of broke down all this stuff, and basically if you won a big battle while having a lot less people, then it gave you the best amount of points or whatever. So Alexander the Great is number 10. Alexander the Great only had a couple battles, I think, in his life. Georgy Zhukov, I don't know who this is. Zhukov, who is he? I actually don't know who. He's a Soviet general. He worked for Stalin. Well, there you go. I guess he did fight Nazis. I'll give him that, but probably not. F, we back. Zhukov got to the stream. Zhukov murked Nazis. Did he really? Is he just the Nazi angel of death? Let's see. Zhukov versus Nazis. He won the Battle of Berlin. Holy shit. He's known as the man who really defeated Hitler. Interesting. Wow. I did not know enough about this guy. Number 8, Frederick the Great. Ruling for more than 40 years and commanding troops in some 14 battles across Europe. He got the number 8 spot on the list. Sick. Ulysses S. Grant. Yeah, obviously. He even president, too. Whew. Top general into president. That's a run. Hannibal Barca. Oh, yeah. Hannibal's the GOAT, dude. Hannibal's the guy that marched elephants across the Alps to fuck up the Romans, right? It's one of the all-time... Is Trump on here? He knows more than the generals, believe him. So he's probably rank 0. He's right at the top. There's a story I remember of... dude, I'm getting the names wrong, but I think there's a general named Scipio Africanus or something. Am I fucking crazy? And him and Hannibal like met up way after their careers and like talk shit about each other. Am I? It's in his blurb. Oh, damn, you're right. Scipio Africanus. Yeah. Oh, this is literally what I'm talking about. Well, I talked about it with Toph a long time ago. They're like, it was like, because it was like, I wish I had Toph's tweet. Basically, when you actually read what they said to each other, it was like two Melee players who retired talking about their career. It's like Mango and Armada or something, talking about how, yeah, I would have fucked you up at that tournament. I would have beat your. It was like the way they were talking was so funny. It was like the very prehistoric, like, fucking 1,000 years ago version of two Melee players. DJ Khalid, Ibn al-Walid. You never heard of him, but you sure felt his effects. He was a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, one of the Islamic Empire's most capable military leaders. In 14 battles, he remained undefeated against the Byzantine Empire. Compared to others who fought similar battles, his score eclipses even further the great. Okay, nearly undefeated. I'd love to see some of his battles. Takeda Shinjin, one of the best military minds in feudal Japan, is a really big deal. Because everyone's going to be a military mind, and being better than someone else means you get challenged to a duel. After 18 battles, he remained supreme. Actually goated. Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington. Holy shit, he looks so not like a great general. Oh, he's the guy that beat Napoleon? Oh, shit. I guess taking down the GOAT is something. Julius Caesar? Yeah, he did pretty well for himself. By the way, I am... I'm wearing a Roman coin. I'm now a Roman coin kind of guy. Judge me all you want, but I'm wearing a Roman coin. I'm getting it out of the way early. Okay? Don't care. Won't apologize. I thought it was cool. It's a legitimate Roman coin. And I'm wearing it, and I'm not apologizing for it. Appropriating Italian culture. That's why I'm doing it. I'm making a pizza is what I say when I show my coin. And then Napoleon, number one, the GOAT, dude. Napoleon is so far ahead of the normal distribution curve created by the data. For these 6,000 plus generals, it's not even close. After 43 battles, he has a war score of more than 16, which blows the competition away. There can be no question Napoleon is the greatest tactical general of all time, and the math proves it. GOAT status, dude. He was only 5'5". Napoleon needed all of Europe to gang up on him. Yeah, he did. I mean, I think the coolest thing Napoleon ever did was they beat his ass, finally. And instead of killing him, because it would cause a big stink, they exiled him to an island. And then he legitimately escapes the island, steals a boat, sails back to France. The new puppet king sends the army to go arrest him. He gives a passionate speech to that army, and they all flip sides. And then he takes over France again, starts another war, gets all of Europe to team up again. Like, that's crazy. That's like unheard of in history. He's just like you, Domino Joe in chat. Let's see. Anyway, so this is actually a good intro. This is a good intro segue to the next video, which is about... Oh, I need to make sure that I have my... wait 1 second. Beep, 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 beep. He's no Tom Brady. You're right. You're right. Napoleon is no Tom Brady, but he's still pretty good at what he does. What did I want to do? I wanted to go into the battle. His greatest battle of his career. Napoleon's masterpiece.
An epic history.
From Epic History TV, 3.4 million views. Let's see. I've been wanting to watch this for a while.
TV
We're gonna watch
History
today.
March collaboration. Supported by our sponsor, The Great Courses Plus. In December 1804, in the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, Napoleon Bonaparte crowned himself Emperor of the French.
Crowning
Europe had
yourself
never
is pretty-
seen such a sudden and dramatic rise to power. A son of impoverished Corsican nobility to military dictator of France in little more than 10 years. Revolution.
Watch out for Ludwig. Completely unrelated, but at his pace of growth, let's watch out. All I'm saying is let's not. If he starts asking for military access, let's watch out. Okay? Kind of weird, short, French. Let's keep him doing the content thing.
And war had cleared Napoleon's path to the throne. War would dominate his 10-year reign. A conflict unprecedented in history that would leave millions dead and a continent in turmoil.
Dun, 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 dun.
8 months after Napoleon's coronation, the French Empire and its Spanish ally were at war with Britain, and Napoleon had assembled an army of 180,000 men along the Channel coast. But as long as the British Royal Navy ruled the seas, invasion was impossible.
I just want you guys to know, if there was even the smallest land bridge between France and Great Britain, all of history would be changed so dramatically. If you look through history, there's like 600 times that Great Britain is about to get fucked up by the mainland of Europe and doesn't because of having more boats right here. It's like, it happens all the time. It happens over and over and over and over again, and they just barely hold out. And it's like, man, if there was even the smallest way to walk, it would have been fucking over.
But nor could Britain challenge France on land.
They got a great spawn point.
And so
dude, for
British
real.
Prime Minister William Pitt tried to build a European coalition against Napoleon, using diplomacy and gold. Britain would prove Napoleon's most steadfast enemy, and its press delighted in relentless mockery of the French emperor.
What is that? Why we think he's so short? Is that just because Britain won? And they fucking roasted him and toasted him? Is that myth and propaganda? It is funny though, right? It is kind of funny though, so maybe we should keep it going. We'll let the next generations figure out whether it was true or not. Let's just keep calling him short. It was funny. Like, what a little short king.
Britain and France were old rivals in Europe and overseas. But now, Pitt feared Napoleon's conquests had made France too powerful. The French emperor had to be defeated, and Europe's balance of power restored if there was ever to be lasting
Take it,
peace.
Chad.
Pitt found willing allies in Europe, among monarchs who despised Napoleon as a product of
Holy shit, it's Lingus's granddad. Gustav IV. One of the first great speedrunners of Sweden. This guy could speedrun fucking anything back then.
French Revolution and a dangerous threat to the existing order. Austria harboured the deepest grievances, having seen her influence in Germany and Italy steadily eroded by French victories. The final straw came in May 1804, when Napoleon had also crowned himself King of Italy in Milan.
Man. Went for the double?
Austria, Russia, Sweden and Naples joined Britain in an alliance known as the Third Coalition, and devised an ambitious plan for a series of joint offensives against France. The main attack would be made by a combined Austro-Russian army, advancing across the Rhine into France. But Napoleon got word of their plans, and reacted with typical speed and decision. He was determined to strike first, before the Allies could join forces, and ordered his army, now renamed La Grande Armée, to march to the River Rhine. His target was the
It feels like so much of what makes a great general back in the day. I feel this about Washington too. Is like their ability to make people move, to like feed and supply troops while they move. That it was like logistics. It's like it's not like battle tactics because they can't even communicate that well. It was more like let's get people to the right spot and not starving, and then they win.
Austrian army of General Mack, which had made a premature advance against Bavaria, a French ally, and was now dangerously isolated from
An army marches on its stomach? No, an army marches on its feet. Idiots. I'm glad you're here because it's Get Smarter Saturdays. You guys can learn a thing or two. Stupid. They're not doing the worm across the fucking Rhine, dude. They're fucking walking. Or marching, as we'd say in the military.
the other Allied armies. Napoleon ordered Marshal Murat, his famously flamboyant cavalry commander, to make feint attacks through the Black Forest.
Famously flamboyant? Is she ossified? Sheesh, queen!
Forest, while the rest
He has
of his
the
army,
TikTok hair.
advancing at speed,
Yeah, he
enveloped
stands his
Mack's
hair.
army from the north. That summer, Napoleon's
Marshal.
Grande Armée was at its most formidable. Well-trained, highly...
Does Le Grand Armée just mean the big army? Am I translating that correctly? Is that his fucking fancy name for his army? It just means the big army. Okay, cool. I guess it'd be good to be in, like, if you're in the Grand Army, then you're like, we're in the big one. That's good. You don't want to be in the small army. That'd be fucking shitty.
highly motivated, its regiments at full strength. What's more, it had been newly reorganized according to the corps system, later imitated by virtually every army in the world.
He invented the corps
Each
system?
corps, commanded by a marshal, was a mini-army of 15 to 30,000 soldiers, with its own infantry, cavalry, artillery, and supporting arms, such as reconnaissance, engineers, and transport. This meant each corps could march and fight for a limited time independently, allowing Napoleon to break with the old doctrine of keeping his army concentrated and advance with his corps widely dispersed. This helped
Smart.
to disguise his real objective and increased movement speed because the army could advance along multiple roads and live off the land, taking its supplies from scattered villages rather than relying on slow-moving supply wagons.
Smart.
When the enemy's main force was located, the army could quickly concentrate for battle. This is how Napoleon's army was able to move at a speed that often surprised and disorientated his enemies. Mack didn't realize the danger he was in until it was too late.
His name's just Mac?
Napoleon's fast-moving corps crossed the Danube behind him and surrounded his army. Mack launched a series of poorly coordinated counterattacks,
Cringe.
but despite some desperate fighting, the Austrians couldn't break out of the trap.
Yeah, one other thing I've noticed is I like look at more historical battles and stuff because I've been interested in this. It's like getting surrounded is GG. I've seen so many examples of like, yeah, if they ever get behind you, your army just is completely fucked. It just loses insta. It's GG easy. It's not like, even if you have more numbers, like if their army is surrounded, they just break. They just fucking encirclement.
Mack hoped
Surrounding again, this meta is cringe. Dude, I love the idea of like European generals as fucking RTS players in the chat. This fucking meta again. Goddamn, so boring. Like in World War One. Oh, trench warfare is so fucking boring. Devs, patch! Patch this shit! All I want to do is attack with my horsies.
that Kutuzov's Russian army could arrive in time to save him, but the Russians were still 160 miles away. And so, at Ulm, on the 19th of October, just 6 weeks into the war, Mack surrendered his army to Napoleon.
Get owned.
The French took nearly 60,000 Austrian prisoners, and Napoleon had struck his first devastating blow against the coalition. Russian General Mikhail Kutuzov was an experienced and wary commander, more cautious than Mack.
Heavy metals.
His army was exhausted
it.
after its
Me.
900-mile
me.
march.
Yes. I'll get you guys his actual face. But if I move my camera, you can't say what's the difference. Okay? You understand? If I move the camera and show you his actual face, you can't be like, what's the difference? All right, you guys understand? You guys all agree? Because this guy's obviously like kind of a portly old Russian gentleman, and it won't look anything like me. So, okay. Oh, wait. What's the difference? Wait. Okay, there he is. What's the difference? Oh my goodness gracious, it is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
From
I can't.
Russia. But hearing of the Austrians' surrender at Ulm, and knowing he wasn't strong enough to face Napoleon alone, he immediately ordered a retreat. Napoleon pursued. The Russians fought several sharp rearguard actions, but could not save the Austrian capital, Vienna, which the French occupied on the 12th of October. Kutuzov slipped away to Olmütz in today's Czech Republic, where he was joined by reinforcements, as well as Emperor Alexander of Russia and Emperor Francis of Austria in person.
All right, the squad's
Napoleon
finally there.
was furious that Kutuzov had escaped. By now his army was also exhausted, and far from home, with winter approaching. He needed to force a decisive battle quickly. Fortunately for him, the overconfident 27-year-old Russian emperor sought the glory
Oh, he
of
was
battle,
emperor at 27?
overriding the concerns of his veteran commander, General Kutuzov. With the Allied army closing in, Napoleon ordered his corps to rapidly concentrate on a battlefield he had carefully selected, near the town of Austerlitz.
Oh, here it comes.
Napoleon oversaw the dispositions of his army late.
This is a 1v3 clutch, dude. This is simple, down, bombs already been planted, 3 members of the opposing team left. This is Austerlitz, baby.
Into the night, then
Clutch or
grabbed
kick?
a few hours' sleep beside a campfire. Dawn would mark the first anniversary of his coronation as emperor, and promised a battle that would make or break his young empire. The morning of the 2nd of December,
Do
1805.
you think he made the sound effect when he said that? Do you think he went, because that's what I would do. If I said, let's finish this war with a thunderclap, I would, ka-chow! Or he had a guy, behind him. Yeah, he's an emperor. He had a guy behind him go, and back him up. That was sick. You know, that's little
was
sound
cold
effects.
and bright, with a heavy mist. Two armies of near equal size faced each other across a 7-mile-wide battlefield. But the Allies held the high ground of the Pratzen Heights,
They have the high ground?
while French Third Corps under Marshal Davout was still marching to the battlefield.
How do the French
Seeing
win?
Napoleon's thinly stretched right flank, the Allies planned a large-scale attack from the Pratzen Heights to steamroller the French right. before swinging round to envelop Napoleon's army.
Sounds decent. I don't know why they give up the high
Little
ground,
did
but
they know, Napoleon was counting on his weak right wing luring the Allies into just such a move.
Oh, problem.
Whereupon he would launch his own attack on the Pratzen Heights to cut
Pepe
the
laughed.
Allied army in half. His bold plan relied on his correct prediction of Allied movements, the speedy arrival of Davout's Third Corps on his right, and a perfectly timed counterattack. The battle began around 7 a.m. as Austrian troops of General Kienmayer's advance guard clashed with French troops defending the village of Telnitz.
Okay.
In the face of overwhelming odds, the French fought stubbornly and bravely. But gradually, they
Would suck to be in this part of the French army, though. You're just bait. You're like a small army against the fucking massive legion who's baiting you out. You're almost certainly dead. I would not volunteer for that job. Great plan, Napoleon. Great plan. Do you think maybe I could be on the victorious guys charging up the hill and winning, and not the guys that get the fucking shit kicked out of them? No, well, it's already decided, Brandon. So, and that's when I deserted, by the way. That's when I deserted the French army back in the day.
they were forced back. But the Allies, instead of carrying out their great enveloping attack, did nothing.
What?
The morning mist and the late arrival of orders had led to confusion and delay, and it was another hour before the first 3 Allied columns were on the move. Soon, fierce fighting erupted around Sokolnitz village and castle. Marshal Davout's corps, which
Fog
had just
RNG.
force-marched 70 miles in 2 days, now arrived to strengthen the French right wing. Around 9 a.m., his lead infantry brigade appeared suddenly through the mist and retook Telnitz, before being driven back in turn by Austrian hussars. 2 more of the
Hussars are mounted cavalry, by the way. People are still using fucking mounted cavalry. Crazy. Shocks me. Cannons and guns, and people are still fucking running on horses.
Davout's brigades reinforced French troops at Sokolnitz. As the mist began to clear, Napoleon saw that as he
Well, they weren't going to use cars. I meant charging with melee cavalry with fucking swords, dude. It's just like, it feels so... I mean, it works. Still gets the job done because they move fast. But like, this is probably the last war where cavalry was still remotely effective. Because this is not too far from World War I, right? How much farther than it... 100 years? Not too far. Not too far. A century? Come on. Listen, when I was back then, I skated everywhere. And I'm not going to apologize for that. Yeah, no, but horses were used in World War I, but they were incredibly ineffective. Like, famously ineffective. Like, there's the poem about that cavalry charge in World War I where they all just fucking die. They all, like, it's very, very bad. Yeah, the charge of Light Brigade. It was for style
hoped
points.
the Allied left was moving off the Pratzen Heights, and he ordered Marshal Soult's 4th Corps to begin its attack.
No repeating guns. Oh,
To
so
the
there was
alarm
no. Oh,
of
wait, it's
Allied
still, it's still
commanders,
muskets for
2
sure.
French infantry divisions, until now hidden by the mist, were suddenly seen advancing.
I guess that makes sense. It's probably repeating guns that really fucking ends horses. Machine guns, basically. Because if you have a musket, yeah, it's fucking shitty to be charging towards it, but it takes forever to reload. So you're just sitting there fucking on your ass trying to put powder in that bitch, and the horse is trampling you down. So once you get repeating guns, then horses are kind of they're just not going to do it for you. You need armored fucking tanks.
Straight towards the Allied center. General Kutuzov was forced to hurriedly organize a defense of the heights, using troops of 4 column.
That's when Bethesda first invented horse armor. And Napoleon bought all of the DLC, thus kicking off microtransactions, which are big today. So we're getting a little gaming history in here too. It's not just war history, it's gaming history. So everyone, it all ties together.
Hours of bloody fighting followed. Musket fire was so rapid and furious that both sides were soon low on ammunition and turned to the bayonet. By 11 a.m, the French, with the advantage in training and discipline, had secured the heights and driven a deep wedge into the Allied position. To the north,
high ground.
a giant cavalry battle developed. While a Russian force from General Bagration's advance guard captured the village of Bosenitz before it was halted by cannon fire from the Santon Hill. A decisive charge by 6 regiments of French heavy cavalry finally drove back the Allies, allowing Marshal Lannes' 5 Corps to move forward and seize Blasowitz and Krug.
Not Krug.
Now, Grand Duke Constantine, commanding the Russian Imperial Guard, led forward this last Allied reserve.
Bro, where have you been?
In a desperate bid to reclaim the Pratzen Heights.
Show up at the end? You should have been there from the beginning.
A battalion of the French 4th Line Regiment was charged down by Russian Guard cavalry, losing its Eagle standard in bloody fighting. Napoleon, who'd moved up to the heights, sent in his own Guard cavalry. In this grim melee between the elite horsemen of both armies, the French finally prevailed. Napoleon had broken the Allied centre. Now, to close the trap on the Allied left wing, still locked in heavy fighting around Sokolnitz.
Yeah, no, they're fucked. They're fucked.
Around 2 p.m, Napoleon...
I mean, it's kind of goated that the French held here, though. Like, if they didn't hold this line with a weaker force, this whole thing would have gone to shit, and they'd be, like, chasing each other's tails. Like, them holding this, even just fucking a little bit, made all this possible.
Ordered 4 divisions to swing south and cut off their retreat. General Buxhowden, commanding the Allied left, only now saw the danger he was in. Attacked from 3 sides, the only escape was south. Many of his troops were forced to flee across frozen ponds.
That's not fun.
French artillery opened fire, trying to smash the ice with their cannonballs.
Oh, shit.
About 200 men and dozens of horses drowned in the freezing water.
Oh, shit, dude.
But not the many thousands of Napoleon's propaganda.
Stage hazards, yeah.
The French Emperor had won a brilliant victory. His army had taken more than 10,000 prisoners and captured 45 enemy standards. Thousands of dead and wounded of all sides littered the battlefield.
Wow.
Many left untended for days.
That's a ratio. Oh, you guys can't see it. That is a KD ratio. That's an insane KDR for a general. In an even match, they had the same army size going in. Standards or flags? Yeah, I guess it's funny that like they kept track of that and cared. We captured 15 of the enemy flags. Cool, man. I don't know. It's like who died and who lived. Let's not. Yeah, you got their flags, dude. It's not a CTF game. Yeah, that's pretty. It's a pretty damning KDR.
The Battle of the Three Emperors, as it became known, was a crushing blow to the Third Coalition.
Yeah, it's
as Russian forces retreated back to Russia, Francis I of Austria was forced to accept a humiliating settlement with France, agreeing to pay a 40 million franc indemnity and give up more territory in exchange for peace.
Sheesh.
But meanwhile, news had reached Napoleon of a disastrous Franco-Spanish defeat at sea. off Cape Trafalgar. British Admiral Lord Nelson, at the cost of his own life, had masterminded a victory so complete that it ensured British naval dominance not just for the rest of the war, but for the next 100 years.
Damn.
Britain
and their fucking boats, dude. The boats were OP and Britain abused it for like all of fucking recorded European history. They just ran that fucking boat strategy into the ground.
master of the sea, Napoleon unbeatable on land. The whale and the elephant, neither able to challenge the other in its own domain. When William Pitt received news of Napoleon's victory at Austerlitz, he's supposed to have said, "Roll up that map of Europe. It will not be wanted these 10 years."
Oh shit.
A month later, Pitt was dead. But his warning that Europe faced another 10 years of war and upheaval was to prove prophetic. Napoleon Bonaparte was the ultimate disruptor of European history. One man
This is an ad?
who transformed a continent. If you want to find out more, why not try a free trial with the Great Courses
I
Plus?
thought it was going to be like, and the ultimate disruptor of the, in the cupboard is the new Doritos Tasty Tang flavor. I thought he was building up to a fucking ad, dude. But I guess he it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's it. I mean, didn't Napoleon? So Napoleon wins this battle. My understanding is, he wins this battle. He basically fucks over everybody, takes over the majority of Europe, is at the peak of his powers, and then he goes, "Fucking, let's go Russia," and that's when he basically does the early Hitler. He does the same thing Hitler does. That's exactly what happened, right? And then he first loses his whole army, freezing to death in Russia, and then everything collapses. Watch more war stuff, and we can watch part 2, I guess. But I also saw, I saw a video about World War II, maybe. This one. I saw this.
That they were prepared
This is World War II every single day.
at once to withdraw their troops from Poland. A state of war would exist between us.
I'm not going to watch the whole thing. We'll watch it on...
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this
But it starts out, right? Germany's this big. And then... Oh, just speed it up.
country is at war with Germany.
No, it's starting World War II, not the starting point of pre-World War II. You can see the date in the top left. So then they fucking take over the
Fight in France.
Nordics.
We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight
Then they
with
take
growing
over
confidence and growing
France.
strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever
They
the
get
cost may be.
Italy,
We shall
and
fight on
Italy
the beaches.
joins.
We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We
Then
shall never
right
surrender.
about now, very similar to Napoleon, he tries to fucking finish the job and go for Britain. Fails because getting across this little bit of water is very hard. Tries to get across, fails. The fucking British Royal Air Force does fucking insane, heroic, all-time, timeless work and basically stops them from getting across.
And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
Well, then, like, instead of figuring this out, he does the exact same thing as Napoleon, which is like, fuck off to somewhere else, starts fighting battles down here and in Africa. And then while that's going on, Let's get to the height. All right, this is probably the height, dude. This is the height of how far Germany got. And then right here, he's like, it's so similar to Napoleon, dude. We got this. And he charges in. And he thinks that gets Russia. And then the winter comes. You can't see behind my head. Wait. But look, I mean, I'm gonna see how the number of troops on the Russian side keeps getting bigger. Like if you scroll back, it's like, look, 3 million to 2 million. And you're like, okay, this side's bigger. And they push in, but they just keep getting smaller and smaller. And the Russian side keeps getting bigger and bigger until eventually there's a breaking point.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will
And then
live.
probably one of the biggest fuck-ups in all of war history, Pearl Harbor. Japan grew their territory. I mean, Japan did some fucking awful atrocities in World War II and absolutely deserved to get owned for it. But they, from like a strategy perspective, like they massively increased their territory. They could have just said, GG, no re, we're done, and backed out and tried to like end it. There was like in a works, a Japan-U.S. Treaty. Like that was something that had been discussed and was being worked on. And instead they just fucking attacked Pearl Harbor, thus kicking off. I mean, it's a really dumb idea.
In infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
And then the Keikonas get involved. Not my harbor. Yeah, during the summer, Germany wins again, and then during the winter, it turns back around. But I mean, if you look right now, like, now the numbers are getting untenable. It's double. It's only a matter of time before it starts pushing back this way. With Operation Uranus. Oh, Hitler lost to Operation Uranus, dude. Absolutely get owned. So this is Zukov, huh? Yeah, now it's going real bad. Allies win Africa because, of course, 3 million German troops are out here dying on the Russian border, so they're not able to have any chance, even with Rommel in Africa. If I lost to Operation Uranus, I would KMS. You and Hitler think alike. Spoiler alert. And now Allies coming up Italy. And now German troops have to fight this border, keep defense on this beach. We're taking the boot. USSR really carried the Allies in World War II. I mean, it seems so. From looking at it, it feels like if Hitler had found a way to keep the alliance with Russia going, I just don't see how this World War II goes the way it did. So much of the fighting happens here, but it's not talked about as much. Eastern Front's not really as discuss. But like, this is where like the vast majority of the German army dies and loses. Britain claims they won the war. I mean, Britain was part of it. Britain not folding right here was probably fucking massive. Because, again, having one front is different from having, you know, the more fronts you have, the worse it is. So, Britain staying strong here and making it a threat on this beach is... Not folding is pretty huge, given their position. And now, look, here it comes. D-Day, baby. D-Day. Yeah, not looking pretty good for Hitler right here. I feel like this is... I feel like there's... This is when the bunker scene happens, dude. The memed one. We're about there. We're almost there. It's funny. I know, like, so both sides, Russians and Allies, were closing in on Berlin from both sides. And as I recall, once Hitler kills himself and the German army's in total collapse, like everybody on the German side, all the troops, tried their best to run from this side to this side so they could lose to the Allies instead of the Russians. Because being captured by the Russians was so much scarier and worse. So then, like, they did everything they could to get, like, to surrender over here. German Western Front breaks down. Now Berlin captured. Hitler commits suicide in his bunker. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, interesting. It's all interesting. You know, good to keep that stuff in mind. All right, what other videos we got? Maybe we'll take a break from the war real quick, and we will watch something else. But I thought it was interesting. In Stalingrad, the average life expectancy of a Soviet soldier was 24 hours. That's crazy. That's like a fucking moth, dude. It's like a cicada or something. All right, we'll watch the Chow Garden one, see if it's interesting. It's short, so. I love this game, by the way. I love this game, so I will watch it, and I will see if it's good. But if it's bad, you are banned.
To completely change everything you thought you knew about the Chow kindergarten, you have been warned. Let's begin with what's likely a familiar sight to you, the black market, which is ran by a Chow that sells his own kind for profit. And you've got to keep in mind that he's not doing this bunkered down in some isolated location, but in the middle of a kindergarten building, which makes you wonder, how in the world is he getting away with this when the principal is just a door away? Upon visiting the man in charge and asking him for tips, you'll find that he's complicit. Not only does he know about the black market, he encourages you to buy goods from it. What kind of principal would allow this in a kindergarten, if he even is the principal in the first place? After introducing himself as such, he corrects himself, saying, "Actually, I'm the Chow doctor." And before anyone says anything, this line is in the original Japanese text, and it actually says something more along the lines of, "As a matter of fact, I'm Dr. Chow." This, along with the English versions, "I'm the Chow doctor," both imply that there is only...
Well, that just seems like a bad translation. Because you could be a principal named Dr. Chow and have a doctorate, like Professor Chow, basically. And in the English version, they just fucked it up and made him into an actual medical doctor.
One Chow doctor in this building,
Or they
and that
want you to
you're
think
looking
that.
at him. And if that's the case, then who's been looking after our Chow all these years? If I'm being honest with myself, I've always had my suspicions that this guy was shady. He's always laughing to himself and implying that your Chow's sick before admitting
This is
that
a
they're
creepy
fine.
doctor.
What's stranger is that the supposed principal doesn't even mention this guy when giving out tips. What's a little disturbing is that on his desk you can see a bottle depicting a dead Chow on it with a border of bones.
Wait.
Why is this bottle
Why does he
even
have
here?
Chow poison?
Imagine what the human version of this would look like, and then imagine that you're in a kindergarten seeing it. It's revolting. There's even a drawing outside of this Chow's door that depicts him taking joy in hurting a child. That's terrible. Clearly, this Chow is no doctor. That title more than likely applies to the Chow principal here. And if his earlier statement and overall negligence of this kindergarten in general is anything to go by, I doubt that he's even the principal at all. Sure, we can see a drawing of him with a child Chow, but judging this drawing based on its looks, it's highly likely to have been drawn by a child, which is important because that means this picture is recent, which doesn't really help us out in determining if this Chow is who he says he is. You might think that the door is a good indicator, but considering his likely connection to the black market, it wouldn't be much of a surprise to find out that he simply renovated this place in his favor. So let's redirect our attention to something more reliable. These portraits on the back wall, which seem to depict this kindergarten's past principals. I mean, who else would they be? We're in the principal's office. We also have their bow ties to go by, a symbol of their status. But when you take a look at the current principal, he bears little resemblance to the ones seen in the portraits. He has no eyebrows, wears no bow tie, and is wearing glasses. Not only that, but he has no portrait of his own up there with the past principals.
Okay.
If he's a principal, he should have one, but he doesn't.
Well, you wouldn't
because
want to put it
he
up where you're
isn't
still
one,
active.
as proven by his underhanded support for the black market, allowing some random malicious Chow to treat kindergartners, these portrait discrepancies, and by his own admission, which begs the question, what is this guy's deal and what happened to the real principal?
Okay,
well,
tell me
as we
more.
already know, this Chow is the true Chow doctor, meaning that the doctor's room was originally his office, making it highly likely that this bottle not meant for Chow consumption belongs to him. I mean, it's not like this nobody has any clue what's going on. What's even more interesting about this bottle, though, is that its design matches the bottles found in the black market.
Guys, bear with us. This video is only 3 hours and 40 minutes long. Okay, he's getting there. We have to go piece by piece. So this is part 1 of 50, but it's worth it. We're not going to miss one because I want to know every detail.
Implying that either the black market sold this concoction to the phony principal, or this phony's the one that makes these concoctions and sells them to the black market. Whichever it is doesn't actually matter. What's important is that we've established that they do business with one another, which sheds light on why the phony principal has been allowing the black market to continue its illegal activities in this kindergarten, because they're on the same team. But what does this connection to the black market have to do with the real principal? Where does that get us? Well, if you look closely
Holy
in the
shit!
back right corner of the black market, you'll discover
Holy
a portrait
shit!
of a past principal. And this isn't just some honest mistake. The portrait has clearly been drawn on out of disrespect, with the most notable sketch of all being the glasses.
Wait a
which
minute.
look all but familiar to the very same
Wait a
Chow that
minute.
replaced this principal. The intent is clear, but now we must prove beyond a shadow of a doubt what happened, and the answer comes in the form of this gray concoction mentioned earlier, which was the method the phony principal used to dispose of the real one.
Right.
In fact, I have no doubt. Why? Because the final critical piece of evidence that will put this phony behind bars once and for all has been in front of our eyes the entire time. That's right, This is the true principal, who this criminal turned to stone using this gray concoction, which matches the same
Holy
unnatural
shit, it
color
does!
that this poor
It's
man
the same-
has been altered to. And that tainted portrait from the black market, it's his, a perfect match. Whether this crime was committed out of a thirst for power or a personal vendetta is beside the point. At the end of the day, the true doctor turned his higher-up to stone and separated him from the rest of his body, mounting him in the corner of his very own room so
does
that he's
blink.
forced to watch the kindergarten he cares so much about be corrupted by the black market and the sadistic doctor. A cruel ending for a kind chow. Thanks for watching. Consider becoming a member of this channel, and I'll see you.
Holy shit, that was a powerful argument. That was a powerful argument. I was swayed. Not as powerful as the Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord one, but still quite powerful. But that's just a theory. What other fun videos can we watch? Remember, this whole stream is sponsored by Factor Meals. 1 second. I finished my smoothie. I'm actually going to make a Factor meal right now. Let me do the Factor. That 1 second. Find videos. Make a Factor meal. Shout out to Factor. If you would like to check out Factor, use code POG Atrioc120. There's a panel below. You can also use exclamation point Factor in chat. Very, very delicious meals. Tasty, healthy, and most importantly, they save you a lot of time and mess. If you are lazy like me and don't want to always be ordering food, which is expensive, or making food, which is probably usually unhealthy. Like when I make my own food, I don't make stuff that's very good. I don't have a lot of vegetables involved. So it's pretty hype. Worth checking out. No, the bowl's fine. Or in the thing. Okay. It's on the way in the microwave. Let's see what we're going to watch. What if Barry Bonds played... I think we watched that one. Barry Bonds played baseball without a bat. Isn't it like that Barry Bonds got so many bunts or something that like he would still be top 10 all time? Something ridiculous. Like if he just... I don't know. Oh, it was just walks. Oh, yeah. He was just walked so many times that he... he would still have like... yeah, that's fucking wild. It reminds me of that stat about Wayne Gretzky where it's like if you took away every single goal he ever made, he'd still be the all-time leading scorer just because of assists. Which is fucking crazy. It's the most insane stat I've ever heard. That's so far ahead. I mean, that's the most goofy thing I've heard in sports. Wait, I had some other interesting videos. Let me make sure that I get mine in here. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Let me make sure I found my videos that I wanted to watch. Oh, what was the single worst year in human history? Oh, it's an article. It's a goddamn farticle, dude. I want a video. Worst year. Everyone's saying 2020. Come on. The Black Plague was a little worse than fucking COVID, dude. I should know I was there. Let's see. What does it say in the article? I'm interested. Apparently, the 540s. Somewhere around the 540s is basically the worst part of human history. The plague of Justinian, an early iteration of the bubonic plague, killed about half the world's known population at the time. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And it was apparently frigid cold. It was like not an ice age, but like a mini. There was volcanic gas or something, and it was colder than usual. Yeah, bad. Or as Big A called it, the good old days. The 540s. Let's see. This spy who got the Medal of Honor from both sides. What the hell?
Hello, everybody.
Too long. 30 minutes? Can't do that. Too long. Sounds good, but too long. D-Day from the German perspective.
Limited edition post.
It's got 4 million views. But it is a little long. Maybe. That's a maybe. I'll hold on to it. Video version? What is this? Oh, cool. It's about the worst year in history. Wait, I'm interested. Let's see. I want to know more about it.
Mark Twain once asserted that history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes, and so historians constantly attempt to draw parallels between events of modernity and those that have already gone by. In this vein, we turn to the ancient world and cast our gaze back to one of the many years that rival 2020 in its dubiously notorious status in the human imagination. When the year 536 AD began, just short of 1.5 millennia ago, the Eurasian civilizations that often serve as the subject of our videos were undergoing a seismic change. As war...
Bro, I remember I would always walk around saying, please take me back to 534, am I right? And then everyone would be like, hell yeah, dude. Hey, amen, brother. And then it was a good way to enter a party, you know? It's like, we didn't know how good we had it back in fucking 530.
Politics and other human regularities continued apace. A number of debated cataclysms occurred, which according to some scholars made 536 the worst year in all of history. Sometimes a certain source is not translated into English, but thankfully the sponsor of this video is right there to help you learn more that proves cognitive, created by Watch More, a special offer on the latter's conquests of both Africa and Italy during the 530s, observing the great general's achievements firsthand and then recording them for posterity. But in the midst of this imperial reclamation attempt, the chronicler described a phenomenon which is easy to pass off as irrelevant, but which might just be the clue to the most important episode in late antiquity. Writing almost certainly in 536, the 10th year of Justinian's reign,
536
the Belisarian historian stated, "It came about during this year that a most dread portent took place. For the sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon, during this whole year, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun in eclipse, for the beams it shed were not clear, nor such as it is accustomed to shed.
That's what I was talking
and
about.
From the time when this thing happened,
like the sun wasn't...
men were free neither from war nor pestilence nor any other thing leading to death. Armed with a scientific understanding of the world, even we might peer up to the heavens with unease if we witnessed our sun blotted out for an entire year, as though the world had suffered through some devastating nuclear war. With our own reaction..."
Listen, if it's the 530s, I'm not religious now, but if I was living in the 530s, which I was, and you see the sun basically go out for a year, and then half of all people start dying from a plague, I feel like you stop skipping church, is what I'm saying. I think you stop skipping church. I think you take what you can get. You show up. Thanks. Factor meal arrived. I'll be eating this. Is this the taco bowl? Or which one is it? Yeah. Okay, sweet. Chicken taco bowl, very tasty.
Cilantro, lime, sour cream.
And cilantro, lime, sour cream. Nice.
Oh, the cat's in here.
Oh, watch out for the cat. She'll try to eat my food.
Actions in mind, we can barely comprehend.
Chevy! Chevy. Do the cat Zuka.
a punishment, though. Sorry,
We love the Katzuka. Katzuka, very popular around this household, let me tell you that. You're getting bigger.
And how shocking this apocalyptic sun haze was for the religiously minded people of the 6th century.
Oh, there we go.
It might have been seen as a herald of the end of the world, and to many it certainly came to feel like it. Because the observations of Procopius and several other historians of this period lack any form of explanation regarding the mysterious clouds, most likely because they had absolutely no idea what was happening, the cause long remained an elusive mystery, puzzling modern historians who attempted to glean anything from the ancient sources. However, by utilizing precise modern dating techniques, such as ice core analysis and dendrochronology, the exact cause of what some scholars ominously call the 536 event can be deduced. When studying the cross-section of pine and oak tree rings within the Altai Mountains, as well as other places within the Northern Hemisphere, a trend of abnormally little growth exists beginning at the exact spot which can be cross-referenced and calibrated to represent around 536.
Someone said, why don't you date some bitches? Come on, dude. They're doing like really important scientific work to date a incredibly important historical event and understand it, okay? And you're just here in Twitch chat roasting them for what is actually very valuable. And we're learning a thing or two.
This indicates a degree of uncharacteristic cooling, but doesn't suggest a cause by itself. To supplement this knowledge, ice cores extracted from Greenland and Antarctica, dated to around 536, contain strangely large sulfate deposits, volcanic glass, and sulfuric acid content. Laboriously weaving all of this disparate data, the biblical dimming, the widespread cooling, abnormal chemical content, and more, into one coherent tapestry, most scientists turning over the 536 event ascribe responsibility to a catastrophic volcanic eruption which might have even exceeded in severity the explosion of Tambora in 1815. As an aside, it is worth noting that the latter eruption also
actually wasn't that. That's a nice theory, but I was there. I had just dropped a brand new mixtape on the Loot that went hard as hell, dude. It was actually dropping a bomb on the metaphorical bomb on the music scene of Europe at the time, and the heat that it gave off. Give us a demo. I don't know that I could. My Loot playing skills have obviously dimmed in the last few centuries. I mean, I could, I guess, if I really wanted to. I'm playing off screen.
This is a Loot.
Okay, this is a Loot tutorial. He's not going to just play. Shit, there's some gas. Anyway, I don't need to watch the rest of that video. I think I understood it. It's basically the combination of no sun and the Black Plague. That's a double whammy that'll definitely get you. Wait, I actually want to see this right here. Wait, I want to see the end. The Black Plague.
Occupied by starving people, weakened by lack of food, for the plague to make the short hop from animals to humans. Exacerbated by the Byzantine Empire's cosmopolitan nature, internal supply routes, trade, and the military ventures initiated by Emperor Justinian I, the plague, which came to bear the great ruler's name, infected vast swaths of the Middle East and Southern Europe. Tax-paying citizens...
Bro, they named it after him. That's like what they do now, dude. It's how they. It's like they call it Bidenflation. That's crazy, dude. They literally called it the Justinian plague, the Trump virus. Yeah. Damn, it's like the citizens were just trying to they were just so sad and mad.
Died in their millions, Potentially bountiful land was left
Justinian
untilled,
lied, people died.
and Rome's remaining empire subsequently convulsed under the pressure. Up to half of the population died. The door of Justinian's renaissance also slammed violently shut. Sapped to near breaking point, the emperor could not afford to decisively commit his armies to the conflict in Italy. This, accompanied by other military factors, led to a prolonged war of attrition. When that war was eventually concluded in the 550s, the territorial spoils were a desolated, depopulated wasteland, rather than the rejuvenating pot of gold that had previously served as the Roman Empire's beating heart. Although the devastation inflicted on the Byzantine Empire is by far the most famous of the plague's impacts, its Sassanid rival also suffered a less severe blow, in addition to a number of other states on its periphery. Further east still, shorter growing seasons and an inability to feed livestock probably resulted in seismic population movements and political instability within the eastern steppe area. Not only did this disruption result in the usurpation of the Roran steppe's dominance by the Gökturks in 551, but it also sent wave upon wave of nomads barreling towards the settled civilizations around them, searching for better land to occupy. One such confederation, the Avars, arrived north of the Black Sea by 550. In the Far East, tribes were shoved into China and initiated a new round of violent settlement and imperial defense.
Interesting. Anyway, sounds like a bad year, but how bad could it be? You know what I'm saying? Look on the bright side. Just don't be sad, forehead. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. How speedrunners beat Hitman's largest level in 25 seconds. Explained. A little while ago, I did a video.
Same shirt.
One of the most beautiful speedruns in Hitman history. The Colorado 116.
Wow.
Using a muffin to gain an inch of height and kill your target from across the map. Today, I'm going to bring you back to the world of Hitman speedrunning with one of the sickest and fastest speedruns ever discovered in Hitman. The 25-second run of Miami. Less than 30.
Wow. What a powerful intro. 1.8 million views. That guy must be a great YouTuber.
Let's see. What else we got? Let me check. You guys are spamming this chat, and it's hard for me to figure it out. I'm going to check the Discord. If you want to put it in the Discord Get Smarter channel, that would help me a lot. Let's see what we got in the Get Smarter channel. That way I can see the thumbnails too. It helps me out. This one's called The Spy Who Hilariously Won World War II. I can't imagine one spy did that, but it sounds interesting. Strangest duels in history. That could be cool. Are streamers addicted? Interesting.
Twitch is a platform.
It's your own video, bro. It's 15 views and it's your own video. You try to fucking... you try to Ludwig me, dude. You tried to fucking Ludwig me. It's too long or I would watch it. You got to keep it like 5 minutes, dude. Why pipe organs sound scary? I don't care enough. I don't care enough to watch that video, but thank you for the suggestion. The greatest speech in history, Alexander the Great at his mutiny. Wait, that could be kind of cool. How long is this? 7 minutes? All right, we'll watch it. The greatest speech in history, huh? Probably not as great as my speech. that I give when I win monkey ball games, but what about when I said, you can do anything if you grind? That was a great speech. In a brilliant 10-year campaign, Alexander and his Macedonian army conquered much of the known world, from Egypt to the Indus River. In 324 BC, they returned to Opis, near modern Baghdad, where Alexander... fucking, come on, dude. Let me... I'm doing something here. Where Alexander ordered some of his Macedonian veterans to return home. But, angry at perceived insults to their honor, as well as Alexander's adoption of Persian customs, they mutinied. For the fans. According to ancient historian Arrian, Alexander executed 13 ringleaders before confronting the army. Alexander's exact words are not known, but modern historians believe Arrian records the essence of a real moment of history passed down. Fucking goddamn it! Passed down by eyewitnesses.
What I'm about to say isn't meant to stop you returning home. As far as I care, you can go wherever you wish. But I want you to know how you have behaved towards me, and how I have treated you. I'll begin, as is right, with my father, Philip. When he found you, you were mere peasants, wearing hides, tending a few sheep on the mountain slopes, and you could barely defend them from your neighbors.
True.
Under him, you began living in cities, with good laws and customs, and he turned you from slaves into rulers over those very barbarians who used to plunder your land. He conquered most of Thrace, taking the best harbors so there was trade and prosperity, and put the mines to steady work. The Thessalians, they used to terrify you. Well, we rule them now. The Athenians and Thebans, always looking for a chance to attack Macedonia, were so humbled, myself playing my small part in the war, that they no longer take tribute from Macedonia, but instead depend upon us for their protection. My father went to the Peloponnese and put their house in order. Then he was declared supreme commander of all the Greeks for the campaign against the Persians. An honor not just for himself, but...
All right, so far this speech is a lot of my dad was cool. If I heard this speech, I'd be like, all right, bet. You're right. Your dad did a lot of good shit. I mean, listen, I get it. Well, this is like Elon Musk talking about how many secret children his dad have. You know, I want to hear about how many secret children you had, Elon. Okay?
For all Macedonians. This is what my father Philip did for you. Great enough on its own, but small compared to what you've gained from me.
Oh, okay.
I crossed the Hellespont, even though back then the Persians still commanded the sea. I defeated the satraps of the great King Darius, and made you rulers of Ionia, Aeolis, Phrygia, and Lydia, and took Miletus by siege. The rest of the land surrendered willingly, and their wealth became yours. All the riches of Egypt and Cyrene, which I won without a fight, are yours now. Syria, Palestine, Mesopotamia, Babylonia, all belong to you. The wealth of Lydia, the treasures of Persia, the jewels of India and the outer sea. You are now satraps. You are generals and captains. What have I held back for myself apart from this purple cloak and diadem? Nothing. No man can point to my riches, only the things I hold in trust for you all. And what would I do with them anyway? I eat what you eat. I get no more rest than you.
Ooh, this is a good part of the speech.
Many times I have spent the night on watch so that you could sleep soundly.
He's one of them.
Who among you believes he's worked harder for me than I have for him? Come on. If you've got scars, strip and show them to me. I'll show you mine.
Oh.
There isn't one part of my body, the front at least, that doesn't...
So he started off with a real daddy's boy vibe, but it has changed. I mean, the part where he's like, yeah, he's asking everybody to strip is a little crazy. What if we all just stripped and showed each other our scars? But, you know, the one where he's like, hey, I'm not doing this for money. I haven't taken wealth from this. I stay up on watch. I eat the same food as you. I'm not a disconnected king. That's kind of a high part of the speech.
Bear a wound. My body's covered in scars from every weapon you can think of. Swords, arrows, stones, clubs. All for the sake of your lives, your glory, and your wealth. And yet here I still am, leading you, as conqueror of land and sea, rivers, mountains, and the plains. We've celebrated our weddings together. Many of your children will be cousins of my own. I've paid off your debts without asking how you got them, even though you're paid well enough and pillage every city we take. Many of you wear golden crowns, badges of courage and honor given you by me.
That was a bit of a jab.
Anyone...
I feel like that one was personal. I feel like that line he was thinking about someone in particular. That was fucking George over there, dude. He fucking had a big gambling problem. That was a subtweet.
One of us who was killed, who met a glorious end, we buried with full honors. Many now stand immortalized by bronze statues in Macedonia. Their families are honored and pay no taxes.
Hog.
Under my command, not one man has been killed fleeing the enemy. And now, I wanted to send back some of you who've been wounded or crippled, or have grown old, to be welcomed back home as heroes. But since you all wish to go, then all of you, go! Go home and tell them that your king, Alexander, conqueror of the Persians, Medes, Bactrians, and Scythians, who now rules over the Parthians, Chorasmians, and Hyrcanians as far as the Caspian Sea, who's marched over the mountains of the Hindu Kush, crossed the Oxus and Tanais rivers, even the Indus, first to cross it since Dionysus himself. I would have crossed the Hyphasis too if you hadn't cowered in fear. Who sailed into the Great Sea from the mouth of the Indus. Who crossed the desert of Gadrosia, where no one had ever led an army. Who took Carmenia, while my fleet sailed the Persian Gulf. When you get home, you tell them that when you made it back to Susa, you abandoned him and went home, leaving him under the protection of the foreigners you'd conquered. Perhaps this report of yours will seem glorious in the eyes of men, and worthy in the eyes of the gods. Be gone!
After the speech, the Macedonian troops begged Alexander for forgiveness, leading to an emotional reconciliation between the king and his army. I guess they did strip. Alexander began to plan further conquest. But in Babylon, less than a year later, he succumbed to an unknown illness and died at age 32. Yikes. Yikes.
Thank you to all the Patreon supporters who helped create this video. If you'd like exclusive early access to videos like
A pretty good speech. Pretty good speech, right? You gotta imagine, given the situation he's in. Seems like he had definitely remembered all of his accomplishments really well. It was Ligma? Yeah, it sounds like it was. I don't think it's the greatest speech ever, but Bro knows his worth. He would have an alpha male podcast today. Dude, that's so funny. Alexander today would be like a rich kid whose dad owns a fucking dealership and he does his own fucking alpha podcast. But in that time, he was the greatest conqueror in history. That's funny. The Independence Day speech was better? Oh, true. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Alexander the Great is essentially Dan Bilzerian. I think that's that's not historically accurate. I am not taking videos from the chat, so don't spam chat. I'm only looking at the ones in the Discord. And the next video we're going to watch is called... The time America almost stopped climate change? When did we fucking do that? Ugh. I'm interested.
2. Hi, I'm Raleigh Williams, climate science grad student and surprisingly big on billiards YouTube. Today I'm enjoying the splendor of nature, but I'd also like to tell you about the very real time that America almost stopped climate change, and then one presidential administration and the fossil fuel industry led by Exxon totally f***ed us. And I mean f***ed us. Welcome to Climate Town.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me because ExxonMobil is one of the most trusted and respected companies in history. So I'm coming in pretty skeptical here, buddy. I don't think that I trust you because ExxonMobil wouldn't screw us over. They give us the gas that we need.
In 1977 with an environmental activist named Rafe Pomerantz. Rafe was going through environmental reports when he read one that said if the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere increase at the rate they're increasing, it could completely destabilize our environment and basically destroy everything. Rafe took his big ass glasses off and said, "What the fuck? What? Why aren't we talking about this 24/7? Jesus fuck!" So Rafe called Dr. Gordon MacDonald and a group of scientists known as the Jasons. They all did a peer review on the study and they concluded that, yeah, CO2 looks like it could be a really big problem. Rafe freaked out again, and by 1979 he got all the way to the desk of Jimmy Carter, to which Jimmy responded, "Oh no, my peanuts. They're gonna take my beautiful peanuts. Oh no, mercy me." Full disclosure, all the events really happened and the sources are all in the bio. I'm not making this up, but no one thought to do transcripts. So I have to just sort of imagine what they must have been saying.
I don't think.
Where was I? Oh no, my precious peanut farm and my wife I'm pretty sure I have. Actually, it seems irresponsible to speculate. Let me just go ahead and double check here. Oh, hot dog. But President Jimmy Carter is not a rash man, so he decided to do another report. But this time, he's going straight to the top. We're talking NASA, baby. We're talking Dr. Jules Charney and Dr. James Hansen. They compiled the Charney Report, which basically boiled down to climate change has the very real potential to put America through a wood chipper. And then we used the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire theme song there.
A balloon chipper?
In 1979, ExxonMobil was doing their own climate change report. But it wasn't a, "Oh, is climate change a thing?" report. It was an, "Oh no, I think they might be on to us" report. You see, ExxonMobil had known about climate change since 1957. Yeah, they used to be called Humble Oil, ironic, and they did the research in 57 and found out that, yeah, CO2 in the atmosphere could really f things up. And then for the next 20 years, Exxon's top science advisors continually reminded them about the realities of the greenhouse effect, including a very special board meeting in July of 1977 when Dr. James Black explicitly warned Exxon executives about the impending danger of climate change. You know, that thing they found out about in 1957. 22 years later, they are now Exxon and they are trying to figure out how they can tamp down this information. You see, Exxon was worried that the Charney report might lead to some laws changing which could negatively impact their business.
Well, you don't
model.
want that.
So a bunch of Exxon executives got into a room together, and the conversation might have gone a little something like this.
Oh, no, we gotta do something.
What are we gonna do? Pretend it's not even happening? But in those days, facts were a little more important, so ExxonMobil became the world's leading climate science research team. It's crazy to think about, but they hired climate scientists from all over the world to help them pivot away from oil to exclusively alternative fuels. They retrofitted an oil tanker to take atmospheric samples from around the globe. They were doing the cuttingest, edgiest research of climate science, and this was Exxon, people. And then 1980 rolled around and Ronald Reagan got elected president. And his first order of business was to roll back environmental regulations and hire a fossil fuel-friendly EPA administrator.
I put a freeze.
Bro, Reagan is like the legitimate one of the worst things that ever happened in this fucking country, dude. Like, there's so many things you could trace back to Ronald Reagan, and it's like he just hard pivoted everything, completely destroyed the power of like any sort of labor movement, any sort of union. Yeah, he just fucked over a lot of things.
On pending regulations and set up a task force under Vice President Bush to review regulations with an eye toward getting rid of as many as possible. I have decontrolled oil, which should result in more domestic production and less dependence on foreign oil.
Nothing was getting done, and we needed 150 cc's of pure charisma to really knock this thing into high gear. That's right, I'm talking about the one, the only, Al fucking Gore, baby! America's lamest cool guy.
I have not tried marijuana.
The electrifying statesman from Tennessee realized that climate change just needed a little thing called showmanship. See, climate change just needed a story, and stories need heroes and villains. So casting director Al Gore put Dr. James Hansen of NASA in the leading man seat at a congressional hearing, and an oil-friendly EPA bureaucrat made the perfect villain. And the hearing went so well, the press covered it so extensively that ExxonMobil actually decided they were going to completely do away with fossil fuels and pivot entirely to alternative fuels. In 1983, a 496-page governmental report called Changing Climate came out, and the bottom line was, urgent action and more research needed. Unfortunately, Ronald Reagan only read the more research needed. Double unfortunately, in 1983, the bottom fell out of the oil market. ExxonMobil executives wanted to keep making record profits, so they decided they had to fire somebody, and who else to fire but the guys you just hired researching alternative energy. So in 1 year, Exxon went from trying to go renewable to completely Alaskan thunder fucking the planet again. So nothing happened for a while until 1985, when it was discovered that chlorofluorocarbons, a pollutant, were completely destroying the ozone.
CFC.
2 years later,
it's being called an unprecedented display of international cooperation to protect the world's environment. The Montreal Protocol, signed today, aims at stopping the deterioration of the ozone layer in the atmosphere.
Now, Rafe Pomerantz saw this and noted that in 2 years, they did what he couldn't do in 10 years, and thought to himself, what in the fuck? Global warming is like 1,000 times worse than this. It's destroying literally everything. How do I get through to you people? And then came the summer of 1988, and it was off the goddamn charts hot. Crops died. Droughts happened. Climate change real. Congress wants another hearing. Another one. So they got James Hansen back, and he said, hey, you remember that climate change thing I was talking about? This is that thing! And it seemed like the newly elected president, George H.W. Bush, was listening, because he literally said this.
1988, in a sense, is the year that the Earth spoke back. This summer, we've seen a lot of talk about the greenhouse effect. As the nations of the world grow, they burn increasing amounts of fossil fuel, and that gives off carbon dioxide, which acts as a blanket, insulating the Earth, and thus can contribute.
Sounds like a fucking grade schooler's report, dude. It sounds like he's like reading off a PowerPoint slide for fucking 6th grade science. It sounds so basic. And so like he doesn't even, he's like
to an increase in temperatures in the atmosphere. But we must have a clear commitment to emissions reduction. I will appoint the finest, most qualified individuals in the land to serve in the Environmental Protection Agency. They will have my mandate: go after the polluters.
And a room full of Exxon executives cried a collective fuck. But just like the common cockroach, Exxon executives refused to die. You see, they just spent the past 5 years firing all their climate science guys. What they did have was a whole shitload of money.
Yeah.
So presumably, one Exxon executive turned to the other Exxon executive and said, we can't just like use all this extra money to confuse.
This is the problem every single time. Every single time in the fucking country we want to make any sort of change, there's somebody who's like, well, the way things are has made me really rich. And I have all this money, and you want to change things, and you don't have as much money as me. So it's going to be really hard for you to change things on account of all this money I've already made and want to keep making.
Use people with lies and disinformation, can we? No, wait, let's do exactly that. And then triple, unfortunately, President George H.W. Bush hired John Sununu as his chief of staff. You may know John Sununu as that man who's got a face that looks just like a slapped ass. Anyway, Sununu's got an engineering degree, which in his head makes him smarter than every climate scientist ever. So the next time James Hansen went to give a hearing, he submitted his testimony, and Sununu censored almost all of it. So Dr. Hansen calls Al Gore, and he says, hey, this new censored testimony is gonna make me look like an idiot. To which Al Gore responds, perfect, write that in a letter. Al Gore takes that letter to the newspapers and says, put this on the internet. To which they respond, what's the internet? Because he hadn't fucking invented it yet. Anyway, the newspaper put the Hansen letter on the front page, and when James testified, he first read the censored Sununu version. Fucking power move. Congress was like, what did any of that mean? And Hansen said, I don't know, you should ask the people who wrote it, the White House. Congress freaks out, the press freaks out, everybody is lighting cigarettes, they are like, whoa, we're gonna fix this fucking climate change thing now. We are primed for some climate change policy. So there's this giant climate change summit right around the time Taylor Swift is being born. There are 65 countries, and the goal is to get everybody to agree to freeze emissions at 1990s levels. And do you remember when George H.W. Bush made this following commitment to us today?
I'll make this following commitment to you today. I will appoint the finest, most qualified individuals in the land to serve in the Environmental Protection Agency.
And true to that commitment he made to us today, Bush made William K. Riley the EPA administrator. Riley was a man who listened to scientists and could recognize Exxon's disinformation campaign as the absolute horseshit that it was.
If the Earth is getting warmer, why is Kentucky getting colder? Very interesting. Well, you know what? There's actually good evidence on both sides. Checkmate, climate scientists. Checkmate. If the vaccine is meant to slow the spread of COVID, then why do people still get COVID sometimes? Touche. Maybe you never thought about that, did ya? Owned. That's so in bad faith. Now, most of us aren't climatologists, but facts like these simply don't jibe with the theory that catastrophic global warming is taking place, which seems to say we need more research and more evidence about this environmental phenomenon before we take any action. That's funny.
And was ready to make a global commitment to stopping climate change. Exxon was not cool with that, and neither was their #1 best friend forever, John Sununu. But what could they possibly do in the face of an overwhelming scientific consensus?
The conference delegations typically were chaired by the environment ministers. And the chief of staff, our chief of staff, was quite nervous about my.
By the way, I just checked. I just checked the average temperature in Kentucky. While it was getting cooler into the 1970s, it has since dramatically increased and is now at all-time highs. Just in case we were following the logic from that ad, it's quite up. Kentucky is not some sort of fucking bastion of
by doing that. So he bumped me in favor of the science advisor, who was skeptical about climate.
Who's, guess what, already in the pocket of ExxonMobil and a bunch of other fossil fuel companies. But still, things are going pretty well at this climate summit. They're all talking to each other. They're like, hey, what if we didn't fuck the planet completely? And they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, you know what if we limit CO2? Oh my God, that's so smart. And all of us do it together, and then we can make this world livable. Woo! Wow, what a great idea. Hey, let's all sign this document. They all agreed. And then, on the last day of the summit, the fossil fuel-friendly science advisor John Sununu, personally sent to the conference, pulled the trigger. He refused to sign the treaty they had all worked on and walked out of the conference, torpedoing the best chance we had had at global climate policy. Now already that's a huge win for Exxon in the fossil fuel industry. But they didn't stop there. They got climate policy on the ground. You gotta work those chops, baby. They started a fossil fuel special interest group called the Information Council for the Environment. Their whole goal was to spend millions of dollars advertising in newspapers and radio to promote bullshit arguments that they knew were fraudulent. And this is not just like a theory I have. ExxonMobil's internal...
Well, I mean, this is their actual document, and it says, reposition global warming as theory, not fact. Target print and radio media for maximum effectiveness.
Millions of dollars advertising in newspapers and radio to promote
Rush Limbaugh show.
bullshit arguments that...
Who told you the earth was warming? Chicken Little? Chicken Little's hysteria about the sky falling was based on a fact that got blown out of proportion. It's the same with global warming. There's no hard evidence occurring. In fact, evidence the earth is warming is weak. If you care about the earth but don't want your imagination to run away with you, that's so funny. If the earth is getting warmer, why is mini out? This is the same thing as the Kentucky one. They just put these out every winter in every fucking city. They switch Kentucky with Minneapolis.
That they knew were...
Doomsday is canceled again.
fraudulent. And this is not just like a theory I have. ExxonMobil's internal memos clearly state they were trying to emphasize a scientific uncertainty that they knew didn't really exist. They spent millions of dollars discrediting real scientists who were doing real climate work, showing that, yeah, climate change is happening, and they were buying testimony from fake scientists that they paid to say that actually everything is totally fine. So in the 90s, nothing went right for climate change. Until 2000, when Al Gore was elected. Just
as a 90s kid, I can tell you one thing went right.
Fire! Wind! Water! Heart! Go Planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. He's our powers magnified, and he's fighting on the planet side. Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero. Gonna help him put us under bad guys who like to loot and plunder. You'll pay for this, Captain Planet. We're the Planeteers. You can be one too, 'cause saving our planet is the thing to do.
Yes, sir.
Looting and polluting is not the way. Hear what Captain Planet has to say.
The power is yours!
I didn't do anything, but man, that inspired me as a kid. I love that shit as a kid, dude. Yeah, fortunately, after Captain Planet's show got canceled and he retired from crime fighting, he got a job as a lobbyist at ExxonMobil. Makes $2 million a year. They pay quite. They paid quite well. That's unfortunate, but I'm glad he's doing well. I'm glad he's doing well. You know, end of the day, very inspiring in my youth.
Kidding. Finally, in like the 2017 kind of time, knock, knock, who's there? It's the youth movement, baby. We're talking Greta Thunberg, Extinction Rebellion, Sunrise Movement, AOC, the Green New Deal. There's actual climate policy on the table, okay? But if we don't keep that momentum going, the fossil fuel industry is gonna pave over that like they did the last time. So please, if you got this far, in the bio, there's a link to all these organizations. Sign up for one. Get involved. I'm begging you. We can't let Exxon win. Okay? They were such dicks for so long, and they're still being dicks today. They're still trying to discredit climate scientists, so just let's stop. How about it? Thank you so much for watching Climate Town. See you next time.
Hey, good video. Good video. I'm not sure that, you know, well, we'll see. I'm not a doomer here. If we put our power together, we can beat a multi-billion. I mean, it's not like it's never happened. We just need a less divided political climate. And I think some progress is being made, and I also think that, you know, just the fact that gas prices are high is actually causing people to pivot towards renewables just out of fucking profit motives, which, you know, since it's hard to get people to do it for good motives, that's at least a good thing. You know, electric cars are taking off, and people are finding ways to do more renewable energy because it's a more cost efficient. The importance of scale in pixel art games. Well, it was a good video. Shout out to the Climate Town. I thought it was an entertaining, good video. I do really think that so much of the dysfunction can be traced back to Ronald Reagan, who just was a fucking awful president in hindsight. Just did so much that like really screwed over a lot of what made the country functional and working. But yeah, Thatcher too in the UK. Old Reggie had the look though. You know what? When you're right, you're right. Old Reggie had the face for TV, man. And that, you can't knock that out. Yeah, the 80s. Basically the whole 80s, yeah. I mean, you look at the period of like unparalleled progress and prosperity from like the end of World War II to the late 70s. And then it's right about Vietnam, really, was going to start to go off the rails, to be honest. But in America, at least. And then you get to the 80s, and then it starts to shift. I'm not taking links from chat. I'm just not doing it, so don't spam them. You drop your links in the Discord, and I'll look at that. Let's see. Reds. I'm not saying they didn't do bad things. There's plenty of bad things. Oh, my God. The fucking... you know, there was water fountains based on race until, you know what I'm saying? Women couldn't get a fucking bank account until the mid-70s, right? No, I'm not saying that there wasn't bad things. I'm saying there was progress. Everything was moving in the right direction at a steady clip. And there was like shared economic prosperity. As the GDP of the country grew, wages grew, and everyone had better outcomes. So it was heading in the right direction. And then it started splitting and getting worse after Reagan, really. But, you know, there's obviously nuance. And nuance is not great on the internet. What's your favorite character from Elden Ring with a voice line? I don't. Favorite character from Elden Ring with a voice line? I can't even remember a single character that speaks. Elden Ring is not a story talking based game to me. I can't. The guy, the tree sentinel, when he goes and slams his shield down. That's I don't know. I don't know. I guess the guy at the very beginning is like, "Oh, you're maidenless." That's kind of funny. That's all I remember. I don't remember any fucking voice lines. Let's see. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Psh, boop, boop, boop. Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. Ba-doop, do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. The hilarious death of Archduke Ferdinand. And it's Archduke Ferdinand's face with a fucking crying, laughing emoji over it as the thumbnail. Okay, I'm kind of interested.
Hey everyone, today we are talking about the funny...
Alright, fuck it. Fuck it.
funniest thing in the world, people dying. More specifically, we're talking about the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. A lot of you are probably vaguely familiar with the events that went on that day, as it was the event that was responsible for World War I. But what history books rarely talk about, and the most important part to me, is the absolute hilarity of everything that led up to him dying. To give you an idea, there were 7 people trying to kill him, and all of them failed, and then he seemingly died by total luck. We're going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. But first, a word from our sponsor. What could Archduke Ferdinand have been doing that would have saved him from dying and therefore prevented World War I and II? That's right. The thing you knew was coming whenever I started doing ads is here now to save the day. Raid Shadow Legend!
Okay, come on. Come on, dude.
Ferdinand and started World War I. But there's a lot more to it than that. See, Franz Ferdinand was set to take the throne of the Austria-Hungarian Empire. At the time, Austria-Hungary ruled over a specific portion of the country known as Bosnia. The Bosnians wanted their own freedom and to become a nation apart from Austria-Hungary, and the next door country of Serbia supported them. So in other words, you have these two relatively small countries in Europe. One of them is supposedly ruling over the Bosnians, and the other country wants the Bosnians' freedom. So those Bosnians in Austria-Hungary conspire with the Serbians as a means of striking back at the heart of the Austria-Hungary Empire. So whenever the announcement is made that the next in line for the throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, would be traveling to the region of Bosnia within Austria-Hungary, the Serbians decided to conspire a way to kill him. The reason that this led to World War I is because Austria-Hungary was allied with Germany, and Serbia was allied with Russia. So whenever the two little nations decided to declare war with each other, the big nations got in on it too. Then from that, France decided that they were going to get into the war because they were friends with Russia, and then Belgium.
But I'm sure that when China makes a move on Taiwan, we will not have World War III. I am positive that that won't lead to a chain of events that has catastrophic, far-reaching consequences, because Taiwan is a small little nation and there's just no way.
Was near France, and then it looked like Germany was going to go through Belgium, and Belgium was friends with England, so England got involved. And the real reason was there had been so many advancements in explosives, technology, and machine guns that there were a bunch of
Atrioc looking fit, that's frontline material in World War III. Nah, too old, baby. I'm too old. Draft is 18 to 24. Sorry, kids. I'm on the home front. I'm on the home front, dude. 26. I was 26 now. Still safe. Still safe.
of world powers that were really mad they couldn't shoot each other, so this seemed like a good enough excuse. So going back to this event specifically, the assassination was supposed to take place in a town known as Sarajevo in June of 1914. There was an assassins group that was made up of Bosnians in Austria-Hungary, but paid for and supplied by the Serbians known as the Black Hand. These men were assembled by a Serbian general named Ilic, or Ilis. I'm going to butcher all of these pronunciations, by the way.
I wish there was more. Let me just see what's this.
Take the shot. If you can't, throw the bomb at him, and that'll take care of it. And once you're done with it, take a cyanide pill so you can't be captured and give information. Muhammad, possibly fearing his own death, or whatever else may come of him if he didn't, simply did not act. He sat there as the parade passed by. I should also mention Muhammad was nearly 30 whenever this happened. The man stationed next to him, Vaso, was 17. So possibly because Muhammad didn't do it, possibly because Vaso was afraid himself, Vaso also did not act and let the parade pass by. So currently the Archduke has made it past 2 of the assassins and is now approaching Nedelcheko at the bridge. Now, Nedelcheko at this time was dying of advanced tuberculosis. So those concerns for the end of his life being near didn't really get to him. So at roughly 10:10 a.m., Nedelcheko threw a bomb at the Archduke's vehicle. However, Nedelcheko was not thinking about 2 things. 1, how he threw the bomb, and 2, the timer on it. So what happens is Nedelcheko threw his bomb, he missed the carriage, it instead bounced off the convertible top laying on the back of the vehicle. It then rolled into the street because it was on a 10-second timer that he did not take into account and blew up the next car behind the Archduke. So when the explosion went off, the bomb was laying underneath the car and it immediately blew up the engine and the front.
Bro, that sucks to be the guy driving behind the Archduke, just trying to go to fucking Starbucks, dude. Just trying to get the fucking work.
Part of the vehicle. Somehow no one died, but keep in mind it's a parade and there's people on either side of the street watching. So the explosion and the shrapnel ended up injuring 20 people, with the Archduke and Sophie being totally fine. So this quickly adapted from a parade into a self-defense situation, and the Archduke and them got out of there. Nedelcheko decided to stick to the plan and kill himself so he cannot give up information, so he popped the cyanide pill and jumped into the Milzhako River. However, the cyanide pill at this point was really old, so instead of killing him, it just induced intense vomiting. Not only that, but the river he tried to jump into was in its dry season and was only 13 centimeters deep. So Nedelcheko popped a pill, tried to jump into the water, instead broke his legs and began throwing up violently. To which the crowd of paraders that were mad because he just threw a bomb into the parade swarmed him, nearly beat him to death.
That's such a throw, dude. Oh my god, that went so poorly. That's such a bad. That's like a cartoonish assassination.
Before the police came and arrested him. So the reason I mentioned earlier,
that's a 1 star in Hitman, dude. If not a 0.
Where the other 3 assassins was because as the Archduke and his parade were flying by really fast because now they're being attacked, they kind of scrammed. All 3 of them, except for one, Gavrilo Princip, who stationed himself at the local sandwich shop. See, it seems Gavrilo was rather committed to the cause, and possibly a reason for that was he was also dying of tuberculosis. So rather than call it quits and go home, he decided to stake out at the corner on the way the original route would have went, because he figured, well, even though they were attacked, maybe by some crazy coincidence, I may happen to run into him. So in the meanwhile, the Archduke's vehicle continues on to the courthouse where he was supposed to go and give a sort of speech, but now he's rather upset because someone threw a grenade at him. As a matter of fact, as the Archduke got to the courthouse, the mayor was giving his speech for the Archduke, to which the Archduke interrupted it and said, "Mr. Mayor, I came here to visit and I am greeted with bombs. It is outrageous." Not only that, But whenever the Archduke went to give his speech, he didn't have it on him because the speech was in the vehicle that was blown up. So someone had to go retrieve the speech from the destroyed car, which was covered in blood, and hand the bloodied piece of paper to the Archduke while he was at the podium, to which he added on during the speech in describing how much he loves the people of the town of Sarajevo, as I see in them an expression of their joy at the failure of the attempt at assassination. Yeah. Failure. So as the speech was over and their niceties were made, the sort of security team had a little huddle to figure out what to do next, because it was supposed to be a fun and happy parade, and now they're trying to kill him. One of the security chiefs brought up the idea, well, Sarajevo has their own military. Why don't we just have the military come line the streets and make guard for the Archduke? To which the mayor said, no, they're in training. They won't be dressed appropriately for this situation. Let's just not have any guards at all. So they're like, yeah, that works for me. We just won't have any guards at all. Sounds good. So the Archduke and his wife Sophie decided to change their plans and instead travel to the hospital, which was located somewhere in this region, and visit the 20 people who were injured at the explosion earlier, which, I mean, seems kind of nice. So the plan was for the motorcade, avoiding the cities because, again, assassins, would travel instead an alternate route to the hospital and arrive without traveling through the center of town. They had all made this plan inside the courthouse, talking with each other and saying, yeah, we'll do this. But for some reason, no one thought to tell the drivers. So the drivers, assuming that they're going to the hospital up here, think it would be best to travel back into town and continue along this route to get to the hospital, and you see where this is going. Also, to protect the Archduke Ferdinand and his wife Sophie, not the mayor, but someone related to the mayor, was riding on the outside of their car, specifically the left side, to protect them from anyone that may be standing over here as they're driving. So as soon as the parade of vehicles start, they don't take this turn, they take this turn back into the center of town. Keep in mind, Archduke Ferdinand's still in the third car at this point. As soon as they take that turn into the center of town, the people in the two front cars tell the drivers, no, we're not going this way, we're going straight north. So the drivers of those two cars take an alternate route this direction. Archduke, not knowing the city or what the back routes are, doesn't say anything to his driver, who just continues on the path he knows. Which means the Archduke is now completely alone in the front driving this direction. As they're getting to this point, the guard who was hanging on the side of the vehicle figures out that what's going wrong and tells the driver to pull over and stop and put it in reverse so they can get back with the group. However, the issue was the vehicle that they were in did not have a reverse, and instead they had to get out and push it. So the driver decides to turn in at this corner, stop, get out, and go around to the front. He stopped in front of a sandwich shop, which was the sandwich shop that Gavrilo Princip was waiting inside of. So picture this, you're Gavrilo Princip. You're like, well, I'm not gonna kill this guy. I'll just wait around because maybe he'll come through here for some reason. And then while you're waiting there at the sandwich shop, his driver parks, gets out of the car, walks around to the front, and the only guard is hanging on the other side of the vehicle. There's absolutely no historical evidence for this, but between the mayor saying we don't guard the streets and then letting the driver drive to the sandwich shop, I can't help but feel he somehow wanted the Archduke to die as well. Also, the funniest thing about all of this to me is, despite the number of misadventures that happened, this is what started World War I. And I can't help but imagine there was a moment in time where Gavrilo was walking out of the shop with like a Subway sandwich in his hand and a gun in the other, and then the Archduke pulls up and parks directly in front of him. And there had to be a moment of time where he decided between a sandwich and starting the largest war of humanity's history, and he chose violence. So Gavrilo simply walked a couple feet forward, stood up on the edge of the car, pulled his handgun, and shot the Archduke once in the neck and then Sophie in the chest. I actually didn't know this until doing research for this. It always struck me as odd that Gavrilo shot Sophie too, as she was just there. And yeah, people commit political assassinations for their own people or whatever, but there's something especially evil about murdering a mother for seemingly no reason. He said during the trial that what had actually happened is he shot the Archduke and then tried to shoot the guard on the other side of the vehicle who was raising a gun towards him, but Sophia leaned over to protect her husband and
so
got
it's
in
her
the way
fault.
of the bullet. And he felt so sick having shot a woman that he decided he didn't want to keep fighting, which was interesting. Also, he kept apologizing over and over in the trial for having murdered Sophia and orphaning their children. So Gavrila then stepped off of the vehicle and then put his gun into his own mouth in order to shoot himself, but he hesitated for a minute and the police managed to tackle him before he could do anything. In the trials that came afterwards, it was really interesting because it seems every conspirator kind of backtracked on their role in the actual assassination. Eventually, everything I just talked about came out as the truth, but for a long time, the argument being upheld was that, oh, I'm not a part of it, I was forced to do it, or they would have killed my family. And then the next guy got up and said, oh, I wasn't a part of it, I just blah, 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 and it kept up like that. So a lot of the sentences that were determined in the trial came from a lot of they said, he said, and confusion, basically. However, it was determined that Ilic was the ringleader, and not only that, he was part of the Serbian government, so this was not just an...
I think we got there. I mean, that's really funny. That's funny. That I didn't know any of that. I mean, I knew that the Archduke got shot, and I knew it was by Gavril Princip. I did not know the fucking comedy of errors that led to it. Imagine a hitman with historical targets. It would actually be super fun. You know, like Assassin's Creed doesn't do this at all. It's not really a Hitman style game. It's way more of, I don't know, an Assassin's Creed style game. A Hitman style game set in like a medieval town or something would be crazy. That'd be super cool. Or like, you know, in Rome or something. It'd be sick. Are you gonna watch Live 8 tonight? Maybe. I think I'm actually gonna go to a party, unfortunately. Chat, I believe that is the end of my stream and of Get Smarter Saturdays. Maybe one more video for the fans. But there is a party tonight that I want to go to. So, and we're all going together. But maybe I could do one more. Is there one more short one? I don't know. That was fun. I think that was a bunch of good videos today. Good suggestions, chat. I really enjoyed it. I liked the one about the environment. I liked all the historical ones. I liked it all. Shit was fun as shit. Scrub Daddy stream is happening. We're just figuring out a date. He's busy, but he keeps emailing me, so he's definitely on board with it. You're going looking like that? No, but if I was, that wouldn't be a problem. There's nothing wrong with how I'm dressed for a party, okay? It's not the ball. I don't need a fucking suit. Piece of shit. Don't try to get in my head. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'm actually gonna call it there. That's gonna be a good time to call it. I am probably not live tomorrow as I want to work on marketing Monday and get everything ready for Monday. Maybe I will play a little Elden Ring tomorrow. Maybe, just because I really want to. And I need to make progress. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. Thank you again for watching. 'Twas fun. Let's see who we could raid. Spread the love. Spread the cheer. Evan Gao's title is Hitman Horse, more like Hitman I creamed my jorts. Not rating him. No. No. Connor Eats Pants. Let's raid Connor Eats Pants. He's really funny and he loves to eat pants. Connor Eats Pants. Always eating denim, man. He's really great. Little song I wrote for him. Hopefully he uses it as his intro. Konar Eat Pant. Bye. Adios. Sevens. Thank you. Have a good weekend. If I have a completely terrible time at this party, I will let you guys know. Very funny stories. Bye.